We've got 8 of the most upvoted Best of Redditor update stories for you guys today. Part 1 of my 15 most upvoted series. I apologize for the crappier mic. I am traveling right now. I'm in an Airbnb with some of my friends, but I brought this equipment so I could keep uploading for you guys. If you're new here, this is a series on my channel where I collect the 15 best posts chosen by Reddit for the month in a certain subreddit. For this video, Best of Redditor updates. And then I put them into a video for you so that we can read and react to them together. Now, normally these videos are like 4 hours long, and I just wanted to test splitting them up into 2 parts. There are a couple of business advantages for me. I also think that people are more likely to get through the video if it's not 4 hours long. So let me know in the comments if you guys want it all in just one video, if you're okay with me splitting it into 2 parts. To be completely honest, for me and my editor, it's probably better to split it into 2 parts, but hey, I'm making these videos for you guys, so you guys definitely let me know what y'all want. Either way, part 2 is gonna come out in like a couple of days. You won't have to wait that long. As per usual, we got some juicy stories for you today. All the stories in this video are brand new except for the last one. Everything's timestamped below, so feel free to skip around as you see fit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all already know the drill. Let's lock in here and read some Reddit.
My husband is leaving me for a younger woman, and all I can think about is the house decor. This was posted in r/true off my chest on August 8, 2025. I'm 34 female, married for 7 years to my husband, 41 male, together for 10. I love my husband and always thought he felt the same about me. We built a life together. 8 years ago, he had severe anxiety and couldn't sleep, so I would stay up with him, holding his hands and doing breathing exercises until he could finally rest. I'd go to work exhausted. I helped him find a therapist. I encouraged him to grow in his career, even though he was afraid. 6 years ago, I quit my job to take care of his mom, who had cancer, because he had the potential to earn more than me. While I was job hunting again, I got pregnant, and he suggested I stay home to take care of him and our daughter, so I did. I cared for him, and I loved him. In December, he got a promotion, which meant more hours. I gave birth to our daughter in March. I went through a phase where I felt horribly fat, ugly, and it was just me and my baby at home. He barely talked to me, always said he was tired and that I wouldn't understand what he had to say. If it wasn't for my mom staying on video calls with me, I think I would have felt completely abandoned. I've been suggesting couples therapy since June, and he kept saying everything was fine. This poor woman, bro. Like, this dude checked out a long time ago, man. Now I feel like I'm nothing more than a mother. I used to read, study, be interesting. I wasn't sexually frustrated or insecure back then. I used to have conversations about politics, music, books, art. I decorated our house myself with my own savings, and it's everything I ever dreamed of. I love my house, the colors, the furniture, my kitchen. It took me years to make it exactly how I wanted. I have the garden I always dreamed of, a vegetable patch I adore, and a hanging chair where I love to sit with my baby. Last week, he came home later than usual, and I was happy to see him. I was in the living room playing with our daughters. Ooh, daughters, plural. Damn, when did the second kid come into the equation? What the fuck? Last week, he came home later than usual, and I was happy to see him. I was in the living room playing with our daughters. He asked the older one to go to her room. He seemed like he'd been drinking, and then said, "I love you so much, but I don't want to be with you anymore." That's such a fucking bitch-made thing to say. You can't go up to your partner that you've been married to for 10 years and be like, "I love you, but I don't love you enough to continue this relationship." Like, you can't fucking say that. That's just such a bitch-ass mentality to have. If you're gonna divorce your wife, at least be like, "Hey, I'm just not feeling it anymore." He told me I wasn't the person he fell in love with anymore. Then he said he was in love with a girl from work, that she was everything he'd ever dreamed of, and that he needed to give himself the chance to live that love without guilt. Yes, he cheated on me with a 22-year-old. What the fuck? He's 41. Oh my God, that's so fucking gross. Ew, ew. When I finally managed to speak, the only thing that came out was, "But what about my home decor?" Okay, I know this woman's life is falling apart, but that is by far the funniest response you could give someone. Like, fuck this man. He's a bad guy. He deserves to be put down. But can you, like, imagine being like, "Yeah, I want to end our marriage," and they're like, "But what about my home decor?" At some point, I picked up my baby and started shouting things like, "I put time into this house. I did everything it needed. This house is mine." We argued because apparently I didn't value his suffering enough. I don't know why I kept talking about the house. I guess I'm disposable. Didn't value his suffering enough. What suffering? Oh, wee woo. You basically forced your wife to quit her job, become a stay-at-home mom, but God forbid you get a promotion and have to work a little extra to take care of the crotch goblins you put on this earth. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, especially dudes when they have kids, they're like, oh, fuck, you don't understand my suffering. You mean the suffering you put upon yourself? Hey, dog, if you didn't want to suffer, you could have just not had kids. You could have wrapped it. You should have worn a condom. Like, what are you fucking doing? What do you mean you're suffering? It's like shooting yourself in the foot and then wanting pity for it. You caused it. That's all you, dog. That's why y'all, when like some people on social media are like, you guys need to be sympathetic to parents. I'm like, fucking why? You did this, dog. That's all you. Why do I gotta be sympathetic for your choices? Just don't have a kid if you're gonna complain about it all the time. I'm 34 with a 4-month-old baby and a 4-year-old daughter. I don't have a job. I'm going to lose my dream home. I feel ugly, fat, and he told me he's not attracted to me anymore because I gained too much weight during my last pregnancy. I mean, shit. I mean, you own half of everything, right? If you really want the house, you could probably negotiate something in the divorce, but like, girl, fucking take his wages. Like, you know? That's what I'm thinking. Take his wages. Tell your kids how fucked up your dad. Well, I mean, your kids will probably know how fucked up their dad was because they'll put together, hey, you're with a 22-year-old, somebody who's literally like 19 years younger than you. That's suspicious. That's weird. There's 2 edits on this. One, I'm going to talk with his mom and brother about the divorce today. I'm starting with them because they're close to me, and his brother went through a divorce over infidelity early last year. Yo, turn him, OP, turn him. That's the easiest, bro. Also, his mom is very attached to me for obvious reasons. I was there for her during the worst part of her life, and his brother and I are also very close. That's on some disown shit, bro. If my kid's partner took care of me in my weakest point, and then my kid cheated on that partner, I'd be like, fuck you, chicken strips. You're getting tagged out and this person's being in the family now. I also texted my mom and she's coming here to stay with me and the girls. I hope she gets the visa to visit. And my dad, who's American, will be coming to my state in 2 weeks. Edit 2, I talked to his brother about the affair and him leaving. He told me to find a lawyer, the same thing you all said. Now we're talking to a few lawyers today. I accepted this help because I have the girls with me, so it's hard to do everything alone. Dude, honestly, like if the mom and I guess this brother aren't willing to step up at this point, like I feel like now is when you tap into like, you know, not saying you should necessarily use this as leverage, but I think a person who you cared for in the worst part of their life, aka them having cancer, I feel like if you come to them and you're like, hey, so like I'm in this bad situation, I could really use some help right now. I never feel like you should do something so that you expect something in return. But what I will say is I think you should do that type of stuff for people who are willing to also help you when the time of need flips around. So like, I feel like if I'm OP here, not only should you get a lawyer, but you should also try to open up a conversation with this mom that's like, hey, so like I'm in a bad position here. I'm taking care of my kids. I now need to go find a job to go pay for this lawyer. Like, how's about you come and help me? Or maybe talk shit to your son to convince him to give me the house. You know, like I feel like full nuclear is the answer. There is absolutely zero ground for this husband to stand on. He's a shit husband. He's a shit son. He's grooming a basically brand new adult. Not even. Like I would say fucking halfway there adult. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that guy. Hope he doesn't sue. What is he gonna sue for? If bro walks into a courtroom and there is a judge that reads, hey, so like, let me get this straight. You left your wife who took care of your mom during cancer, quit her job so she could fucking take care of your crotch goblins, and you proceeded to cheat on her with a 22-year-old. If there's a judge out there that's like, yeah, bro, you got a leg to stand on, I'm sorry, but like, take out that judge. I didn't read this, but at the beginning, she said, I made this account because my main one has my friends on it, and I'm way too embarrassed to be known as the cheated on wife. Bro, I get why it's like embarrassing, but at the end of the day, nobody who's worth keeping around is gonna be like, oh yeah, you got cheated on. That's embarrassing for you. They're gonna be like, you got cheated on. The guy that cheated on you is a fucking asshole. You gotta start that fucking smear campaign. Bro, I would be going to his job. Like, there's no way this 22-year-old is on the same level as OP, right? She has to be a subordinate. This has to be an HR crisis. Bro, go to HR and be like, hey, by the way, y'all should probably know that my husband cheated on me with this 22-year-old. Shit, bro, make a LinkedIn post. I think that would be fucking incredible. Tag him and everything. I tag him and the company and be like, damn, this company stands for their employees who cheat on their wife after pumping out 2 kids with a 22-year-old subordinate. What does OP have to lose at this point? Hope she just uses him for money. Me too. 41 and 22 is insane. Like I've always said, y'all, if it was like 25, 26, that's where I'm like, y'all gotta have it figured out by then. But a 22-year-old, she's probably brand spanking new out of college. She's in a subordinate position to this guy. Like there's no way that there isn't a power dynamic here. Okay, relevant comments. Commenter 1. If you want the house, you'll need to fight for it in the divorce. If your husband was even a little bit decent, he would leave it to you and your daughter so that the kids aren't uprooted. That's the least he can do for you if he wants to go build another life he'll regret. You're going to need a resolve and a plan. Get evidence of his cheating and start building your case. Like you've already been doing, get his family on your side so that they can start telling him this. Because it's one thing coming against the opposition. It's another thing coming from people who are supposed to take your side, but they aren't because you're clearly in the wrong. OP said, I'm looking online for lawyers, but I don't know what I'm looking for. Commenter 2 said, family law attorney in your area. Why should you move? In the US, you don't work and he does. You're a primary caregiver to kids. Did someone tell him that banging a 22-year-old was free? That was the most expensive thing he ever did. OOP replies, I don't want to move. I've been living in the US for 16 years, but I'm from South America. Honestly, I'm scared even though I'm here legally. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yikes. Scary time, bro. And this husband is fucked up enough to maybe try to pull some shit with ICE. Ugh, that's terrifying. Downvoted commenter. Yeah, so you wouldn't miss him, but just the house? OOP, I'm going to miss him so much. I love him and I gave so much of myself to him. I can't even describe to you how much it hurts to take a hit like this. It hurts so much that I don't even know about how much I'll miss him. I think about how I dedicated so much time to all of this. He wanted a second daughter and she's here at 4 months old while he's sleeping with a new girl. I'm in pain and I'm angry, so angry. This is a crazy fucking comment to leave because does this guy deserve to be missed? Like, don't get me wrong. It's probably a good thing that OP at least somewhat misses them because that means that they actually were involved and interested in the marriage. But this fucking asshole doesn't deserve to be missed. Like, this is the guy that you're talking to your friend telling you that guy sucked dick. There's no way you should miss this person even an ounce. This commenter is the type of motherfucker who's like, you got to keep the peace for the kids. Nah, fuck this guy. Commenter 3, I think your first reaction being about your home decor tells you everything that you need to know. Your relationship with him was dead and now you can move on to better things. He doesn't deserve you or the lovely home you created. A downvoted commenter replied to that comment saying, leaving OP with a 4-month-old is pretty shitty behavior. But her response indicates to me that there wasn't a lot of space for him in the relationship. Motherfuckers will do anything but hold guys accountable for the shitty things they do. Like, what do you mean there wasn't enough space for him in the relationship? Clearly, he didn't try to put space in the relationship. She recommended couples therapy. She tried to open up conversations. She tried to get him to actually be around the house and active with his kids. He wouldn't do that. I'm sorry. There was plenty of space. He didn't want to fucking take up that space. God, that's so brain dead. She referred to it as her house, her decor, her vegetable garden. My marriage broke down for similar reasons, although I didn't leave for my secretary. All right, there it is. There it is. Incompetent men defending other incompetent men. It was pretty clear to me that my wife considered her role to be looking after the house and the kids, and my role was to pay for everything. Why does it have to be so like black and white? Oh, my only role is to pay for everything. Their only role is to take care of the kids. Why can't it be a mix of both? Dude, you can pay for everything and have a good relationship with your kids and help out with them. She can take care of the kids, but then also maybe have a part-time job to help support, to help cushion the payments and build the emergency fund. I don't get it. I think that mindset is the downfall of dudes. It's not black and white. And if you think the world is black and white, you're actually so dumb or just ignorant, which is arguably worse. OP replied to that saying he didn't want to get involved in anything related to the house, neither taking care of it, nor maintaining it, nor giving opinions. Everything was whatever. Okay, so he was checked out. That makes sense. And that's more on brand for a person like this. Like, I would argue that this downvoted commenter was probably pretty fucking checked out, but there's no accountability. There's no like, oh, I should have been more involved. That's a me problem. It's always like, no, everything is not my fault. Oh, dude, I'm losing it. My man hater's coming out today. I apologize, you guys. Commenter 4. So basically you put him on a pedestal and made him your god and served him, neglecting yourself and everything that made you who you are. Now you are crying about the damn house and how unfair of him to do this to you. Wasn't it unfair of you to abandon yourself for that man? If you abandoned you, why would he stick with you? These comments are fucking brutal. I am craving the taste of a Glock in my mouth. Oh my God. What do you mean, bro? Isn't this, by the way, what every fucking alpha male bitch is like preaching? They want you to put them on a pedestal and make them your god. And now, not only is it a problem, but it's your fault. It's OP's fault that she wanted to be a good mom. She wanted to be a good wife. She wanted to do what was best for her family in both the cancer situation and for her kids. But that's wrong, by the way. You're not supposed to do that. No. I can't fucking believe this. Like, don't get me wrong. I think there is something to like, yeah, OP probably gave in too much to the husband. But this is not the way to open up that conversation because you're blaming her. The conversation is, hey, everything your husband did is fucked up. And going into future relationships, let's look back at maybe situations where you didn't push back as much and like, let's learn to build up confidence to push back. The answer isn't to fucking, oh, hey, yeah, every shitty thing that he did on you. What? I can't believe it. That's literally the fucking worst comment I've ever seen of my entire life. And it is a waste of time giving advice here. You'll take him back in a second if he said, sorry, I made a mistake. You really will stay with him and fight for him until the end when you should only focus on you, not him. So do you want us to say how evil he is doing this to a perfect person like you? Oh, but yeah, do couples therapy. Can't lose that house. Bro, what is this fucking comment, bro? Did this just get sent into the algorithm for all the fucking dumbest men ever whose marriages fell apart and they fell down the tater tot hole and fucking now stroked themselves off to the bald man? Like, I can't do this. Oh my God. I can't believe there are people who are this fucking stupid. This absolutely insanely brain dead that this rhetoric is how they believe. I'm sorry, you have to be so bitch made to think that this is the answer. What do you mean? I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. What did OP reply to that? OP replied to that saying, I neglected myself in many ways, really. Along the way, I may have changed, but everything I did came from the bottom of my heart. I took care of his mother because I cared about her. I had and cared for my daughters because I wanted to be a mother, and it made sense for me to care for our children. And I took care of him because I like taking care of people I love. But I had never even thought about how much I neglected myself until now, because I accepted so many things since I loved him and was busy with all of that. To be really honest, I didn't even want to have my youngest daughter. He was the one who insisted. I hope one day I can be as strong-willed as you. Don't give this fucking guy credit. This guy's a fucking dick. Like, this guy's on the opposite end of the spectrum for whoever this person is dating. I fucking feel bad for them. This is the mindset of a narcissist, by the way. Just want to point that out. That whole paragraph about like, oh, bro, you need to just fuck your partner. Fuck them and everything they do. You just need to focus on yourself and only yourself. Like, that is a narcissist. That is somebody who only cares about themselves in a relationship. Don't get me wrong. Do I think there should be a balance? Yeah, but it's two sides of a pendulum. OP's over here, but in my opinion, this side of the pendulum is way better than this side of the pendulum because OP has empathy and is caring for other people. This motherfucker only cares about themselves. I'll take this person over this person and try to help this person to the middle because there's more likelihood that this person will come to the middle than this person. Sorry, I know that was very visual. If you're watching the podcast, you probably want to shoot me, but that's just how it be sometimes. Oh God, don't give this person any credit. I hope one day I can be as strong-willed as you, and I hope you never have to go through this because unfortunately, it's very easy to lose yourself in motherhood and in the role of wife, and I got lost. And no, I do not intend to go back with my husband. I'm afraid of losing my home and my daughters. I just want to get through these comments. I'm going to lose my shit if I have to dwell on this any longer. Another commenter said, it's definitely a raw deal. Even though we're only getting one side of the story, it shouldn't end like this. What does this even mean? Oh, I can't. I don't know how, but this story got pushed to the most brain dead commenters, or the person who posted this in Best Redditor Updates just put the most brain dead commenters into this Reddit thread because wow. Best of luck to you and your daughters. It speaks to your character that his own family is on your side. Appreciate that fact and let it give you comfort in who you are. OOP replied to that saying, I've been friends with his brother for a long time and he went through a difficult divorce. That's why he is with me. I decided not to tell the rest of his family yet until we have a lawyer. Apparently he hasn't told anyone either. Girl, you gotta tell the rest of the family. I mean, I guess it helps that the brother knows and is on your side, but like, you don't want this husband to control the narrative. There's no way that this husband is gonna take accountability for his actions. He's gonna go to his family and be like, she was a terrible partner, she was awful, and just forced me to cheat on her with a 22-year-old. I don't know how you can spin that to your favor, but if anybody can do it, it's probably this shit-ass guy. I've never seen a worse sequence of commenters ever. That is terrible. To have someone get cheated on and then immediately go to, well, this is your fault is fucking insane to me. Unless they were like abusing the other partner or something like that. There's never an excuse for cheating. I can't believe that. Like, oh, you heard how awfully this husband was treating his wife, and for some reason you're on his side because her first first thought is, oh, I put time and effort into this home and then you cheated on me and now all I care about is the home and we're gonna blame her for that? I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe that's where some people's brains go. That's just so disgusting. We have an update August 15th, 2025. Hi, I'm writing because I feel pathetic, tired, and I just want to skip to when this phase of my life is over. A brief summary of what happened this week, and I can't believe I loved this man. My brother-in-law is staying at my house until my family arrives, and my best friend visits me every day. On Monday, my brother-in-law asked my ex to leave the house, and strangely, he actually listened to his brother. Since then, he's only been tormenting me through messages. He wants an amicable divorce and keeps making proposals that only benefit him. Like I said, y'all, the most narcissist that ever narcissist. Also, Chad, just randomly, girl, fuck the brother. Not like, fuck him, he sucks. Like, I mean, dead ass. Like, get with the brother. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You are both single now, I think. I don't know. I guess we didn't get that much information on the brother, but that's the happily ever after, bro. This family disowns OP's ex-husband, OP and the brother, Kith, and then they live happily ever after with the family. Oh, and then also this 22-year-old only uses the ex-husband for his money. Chat, take a second with me to manifest that happy ending. Please, 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 please. I've been trying to stick to a routine because I have 2 children and they need stability, and apparently I'm the only one willing to provide that. Yesterday, he texted me saying he wanted to see the kids, and I agreed. He showed up after they were already asleep. I swore he wasn't going to come. He arrived here at 11 p.m. with a document wanting to talk about how he'd like to keep the house and pay me an additional amount for my share. I just stared at him without saying anything. I asked him to leave because the kids were sleeping. My brother-in-law added that it wasn't the right time or place to discuss this and asked him to leave. Isn't that something that you would take up with the lawyer? Like, girl, I think it's, hey, don't contact me unless it's through my lawyer time. Like, fuck this guy if all he's doing is making proposals that only benefit him. I don't know what happened to him, but this doesn't seem like the man I married. He yelled at my brother-in-law saying he was betraying him and that he wanted to play house because his own marriage didn't work out. Then he yelled at me, calling me a lazy whore who wasn't going to take his money. Bitch, who's the one cheating? Your wife isn't the whore, it's you, bro. You are the little slutty McSlut. You're literally freer than the condoms at Planned Parenthood, bro. I'm sorry. Easier than a game of tic-tac-toe against a 3-year-old. Like, come on. You can't be walking around calling people whores when you're like that. He said his house was his and that his 22-year-old girlfriend, Anne, told him I was going to keep the house he bought. We didn't respond. I just said he should leave because he was getting messy, and then he left. Bro, yeah, he's totally getting played by the 22-year-old. 22-year-old acquires house, divorces him. I think that's what's gonna fucking happen, bro. I don't know why he wants the house when he can afford to buy another one. And I don't understand how the person I married could try to trick me just to come out ahead in the divorce. I kept asking myself if this is the man I married. He wants me gone. He wants the kids gone. He didn't ask about the girls, about his own daughters. He didn't see them or even ask to give them a goodnight kiss. To him and to Anne were just an obstacle, nothing more. I'm not even a person. Oh, that's so disgusting, man. So fucking gross. Commenter said the 22-year-old wants the house. OP said for sure, but she won't come close. What makes me angry is that it took me so long to get the house to look the way it does today. And now some girl comes along and he just assumes I'm going to give my house to them. Commenter asked, did he buy the house before you were married or did you both buy it after you were married? OP said, I paid for part of the down payment. He pays the mortgage, but I've invested around 15% of the value in renovations and decorations. This is a commenter kind of praising the brother-in-law. OP said, honestly, he and my best friend are their best. After 4 months, I finally have the time to rest and get help with my baby. Do you know how good it feels to take 40 to 50 minute shower just to relax? I had been alone for so long that I thought it was normal to do everything by myself. I'm telling you, girl, get with the brother. Not only would that piss off your ex, but also he sounds like a great guy. Also, that's just so sweet, bro. Like, this is how I think every mother should feel. They should feel supported to the point where they don't feel like they can't take a breather. They can't take a 40 to 50 minute shower, take time to themselves. If you're a woman and you're taking care of kids and you feel like you can't breathe because the only thing you're allowed to do is take care of those kids and you have a partner, I don't know how to tell you this, but your partner is sucking absolutely massive camel balls. This commenter is just ripping on the ex-husband, which as he should, but OOP did reply to that saying, my dad is going to pay for my lawyer. My mom is also supporting me financially and my brother-in-law has also offered to help cover expenses if necessary. W family, bro. Like, this is the position I want to be in for like my siblings, my kids, like whatever, close friend family is necessary to support. Ooh, someone asked what happened to OOP's brother-in-law's marriage. OOP said the ex cheated and got pregnant. He had to rush through the divorce so he wouldn't be listed on the child's birth certificate. They were together since high school. I mean, what's his dating status? Is bro single? I mean, he sounds a lot better than your shit-ass ex-husband, just saying. Let's check the user, because, I mean, this is from a month ago. Ooh, y'all. Okay, so there's no update, but OP did post in r/askwoman over50. Small post, but titled, "After a divorce, is there a right time to go on a date? I'm getting a divorce. We're filing the papers. He had someone else during the marriage, and we have a 6-month-old baby. A friend introduced me to her brother-in-law, and he asked me out." Okay, wait, wrong brother-in-law, bro. Wrong brother-in-law. I thought about going because I never imagined anyone would be interested in a mom going through a divorce just to talk and see what dating again is like. But I'm not sure if it's the right time. I mean, I feel like the right time is when you feel like it's the right time, right? Which I'm not gonna lie, while going through a divorce and like trying to get back up on your own 2 feet, maybe not the right time for a date, but also if you need the little confidence boost, it can never hurt to like just go out for dinner really quick. Top comment does say, if you have a 6-month-old baby and you're not divorced, don't date. Don't bring strange men around your baby. I waited until my daughter was 5. I figured that gave me 5 years to focus on her completely, and she was then able to verbalize any problems with a man. Okay. Plus, you need time to process what happened with your marriage. Jumping into the next thing immediately sometimes can be a rebound. OOP did reply to that saying, I thought about going on a date just to see what it's like, not because I want to be in a relationship. Like, I get where this commenter's coming from. Like, if you have a kid, definitely be careful who you're bringing around that kid. As much as like it's probably unhealthy, I am kind of a little bit of a fan of like when you go through a breakup, maybe not right away, but like best way to get over someone is to get under someone. Not even in like that way, but like more in a, you need to be reminded that like you're still good. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's a reminder of like, I still got it. I'm still hot. People want to go on dates with me. I'm still sexually attractive, especially after like what the ex-husband put OP through. I don't know. Me personally, I'm a big fan of like, your confidence has been torn down. If there's something that you can do to build that confidence up after a relationship, fucking go for it. But I do agree with that commenter. Your number one priority should be your kids and the safety of your kids, especially. I set up a date between my 2 friends. Something went wrong that night, and now my guy friend won't talk to me. We have a 21 female OP, a 29 male guy friend, and a 25 female other friend that she set up the guy friend with. Original post January 2nd, 2017. I met my friend Chuck about 1.5 years ago. Chuck is a 25 male. We were both part of an online local group for single parents and eventually met offline with other group parents. I have known Britt, 25 female, since high school. Okay, so they both have kids. Damn, kid at 21? Holy shit. Chuck's wife died of childbirth complications the day their daughter was born, more than 2 years ago. Britt is a few months out of a 9-year relationship. Both of them have expressed wanting to meet other people, and I thought they'd be good for each other because of common interests, and we all have kids of similar ages. Damn, pumping out kids that early? That's crazy. Okay, anyways, 2 days before Christmas, Chuck and Britt went out on their first date. I kept Chuck's daughter at my house so the two could have some time together without him having to worry about the baby. The plan was for her to spend the night. She's done it before and gets along oh, she means spend the night with OP. I was like, wow, damn. All right, you don't even know if they're gonna fucking mesh like that, but the plan is for her to spend... Okay, I get it. The plan was for her to spend the night at my house. She's done it before and gets along great with my 3-year-old girl. Oh, the kid. Okay, wait. Here we go. The plan was for Chuck's kid to spend the night at my house. She's done it before and gets along great with my 3-year-old girl. But Chuck knocked on my door at 11 p.m. to get his daughter. He barely said a word to me, and I could tell he had been crying, but he wouldn't tell me what was wrong. The next day, I asked Britt what happened. She said that they had dinner and a couple of drinks. Things were going excellent. She said she felt like they had great chemistry and were even getting physical at his house, but he suddenly told her to stop and to leave immediately. She swears that she has no idea what she did wrong and is really hurt by the whole thing. I believe her because she is really sweet and social. I've never seen her do anything to piss anyone off. I tried to talk to Chuck at the same time to get his side of the story and see what went wrong. All he said was that he wasn't feeling it and didn't want to discuss it further. I didn't push, but when I went to wish him a Merry Christmas a day later, I saw he had deleted me from his social media. I texted it to him instead and asked, "You okay? but no response. I'm seriously hurt and don't know what to do. Chuck has become one of my closest friends, and our daughters are the best of friends too. I am really worried that this is something to do with his wife, and I want to apologize if he felt like I was pressuring him to date after her death. At the same time, I don't want to overstep boundaries and bother him when he's having a hard time. It's been over a week and I'm worried / upset. I'm trying to think, y'all. What is an explanation of events that could explain why he's giving OP the cold shoulder? Like, that's the weirdest part of this. I think the explanation that makes the most sense is like he kind of halfway through realized that he's not over his wife yet, and now he's kind of feeling guilty about it and wants to just completely disassociate from everybody who was involved. But like, even that doesn't really make sense. Like, it's set up here that he had expressed he wanted to meet other people. So like, if you say that you want to meet other people, someone helps you meet other people, and then you realize that you don't want to meet other people anymore, that shouldn't fall on the person who is just listening to what you said you were ready for. So I don't know. Bouncy Ball said, I'm betting she did something to him on the date, but would that explain why he's also taking this out on OP? It's 100% possible, but I'm like, wouldn't the answer be to let your friend know who set you up with that friend on the date? Could the other possibility as well be like, does Chuck maybe have feelings for OP? Like, that's a little bit where my head went. I still think that doesn't even make any sense. But I mean, that would maybe make sense if he like for some reason was like, you know what, I like OP, but that's never gonna happen, so I have to like move on. But I just don't know. I really think he just wasn't over his wife. Probably. I don't know, man. Maybe she mentioned something triggering for him. Yeah, because I guess he was crying too, right? I'm just trying to wrap my head around how he's reacting with OP, because I think what a lot of y'all are saying would make a lot of sense if he didn't take it out on OP. Like, there's clearly something that he thinks OP is in the wrong for, which I guess it could be as simple as he blames OP for setting him up on this date. But like, no matter what happened on the date, you can't blame OP for that. So a couple relevant comments here that are also labeled theories. There's a deleted comment saying Chuck's daughter will be a constant reminder of his late wife. He still hasn't finished grieving and or isn't ready to move on. Guilt about enjoying female company and getting physical contact will be huge. He would feel he has to hide emotions from his daughter about his late wife. He has locked them away and is doing the same thing now. Give him time and let him know you are there when he is ready. OP, I completely agree with you and will be giving him plenty of space for a while before I try to talk to him again. Thank you. We've actually talked about the constant reminder thing. Little Chuck looks exactly like his wife, and apparently it is getting harder instead of better because of that. I kind of feel like a jerk for being offended by him not speaking to me. I can't imagine that pain. I don't know if OP should feel like a jerk for that, because as much as it's like maybe merited for him to have a reaction if this is the case, I still think OP should be offended that he's taking it out like that on her. But you can be offended by something while still giving someone the space to sort it out so that you guys can reconcile in the future. It sounds like he's not ready to be dating and he's displacing that guilt on you as you are the one who set it up with completely good intentions, and now he feels you're responsible for how he feels. OP replied, that's what my gut was telling me. I just wanted to make sure I was doing enough. Hopefully he'll come around because I've gotten really attached to him and his kid. It would be sad to never see them again. I was reading this line, the hopefully he'll come around because I've gotten really attached to him. And then the next comment is, he realized you consider him a friend. He clearly expected more. Oh, and OP addresses that with an edit. Someone mentioned that Chuck may be in love with me, but deleted the comment. I still want to address that. He's almost a full decade older than me and has never expressed those feelings for me at all. In fact, the week before he cut me off, he said that I was a great friend and he was happy that his daughter had some female figures in her life. I mean, he wouldn't be the first man who's A, hit on someone a decade younger than them when they really shouldn't be, and B, been bad about hiding their true feelings with the you're a great friend feeling. But I would like to hope that that's not the reason. Fingers crossed, because Chuck actually sounds like a pretty decent guy. Oh, same commenter actually like replied to that edit saying, I'm the one who mentioned he might be expecting romance with you, and I didn't delete the comment. It got downvoted into oblivion. This commenter, in response to the edit, specifically the part about how Chuck was happy that his daughter had some female figures in his life, the commenter replied, you mean like a new mom? A great friend just needs a little intimacy and mutual attraction to become a significant other. Common interest, trust, respect are already there. Read the signs. Being a decade older never prevented men to be romantically interested in younger ladies. The fact you use it as a demonstration might indicate you don't want to see he may be into you while still mourning his wife. That's perfectly legit, but people feeling rejected might try stuff like dating your friend and or cut the relationship. I'd say the biggest problem with the sub is that it's always one-sided and people sometimes can be not fully aware of the other people's signs and communication. it's still a theory. OP made a second edit after all this, saying, I think I'll give it another week before I speak with him again. If he hasn't reached out by then, I will tell him that I'm still here if he needs to talk. But I will continue to give him space if he needs that too. I am almost 100% sure that this has happened because of his wife's death. Another one of my friends who is still on his Facebook saw that he changed his cover photo several times since Christmas, and all of them were from his wedding. How long has it been since the wife died again? The wife died more than 2 years ago, and they met about 6 months after, give or take a couple months. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to nail down the timeline. 2 years is too soon? I think it is too soon, honestly. I know that everybody grieves at different rates, but I kind of got to agree with you. I think 2 years after what, a 9-year relationship is what they said? Oh no, just kidding. The 9-year relationship is Brit. Never mind, JK LOL. Oopsies, I read that wrong. I can't lie to y'all. I feel like if you just have a kid and your partner dies, the focus really should be the kid. Like, there's no way that taking care of a 2-year-old makes getting through the grieving process any easier. We do have an update on this. January 12th, 2017, 10 days later. Chuck finally contacted me 2 days ago. He apologized for unfriending me and not talking to me. As many of you said, he was embarrassed by what happened on the date and even angry at me for setting them up. She completely lied to me. He maintains that they went to dinner and had drinks, but then he says Britt got completely shit-faced and was trying to get him to have sex in the parking lot. When he said no, she got very aggressive to the point where he made her get out of the car and got her a cab. Once he knew she was gone, he went back to my place to get his daughter and was so pissed at me, he couldn't talk to me about it. Of course, I apologized profusely and told him I didn't know that she was like that at all. He doesn't blame me and said I didn't need to be sorry, so we're cool now. I confronted Britt yesterday. All I said was that Chuck told me a different version of events. She started crying and admitted to everything all on her own. She asked if I could ever forgive her, and I said yes. But I'm not sure I was telling the truth. I'm not sure if I should keep Britt as a friend. No, you should not. I'm really disgusted by her behavior, and I know if the sexes were reversed, I would stay the hell away from her. I still don't think Chuck should have been angry, but you can't expect somebody who experiences something like that to have the best reaction to it. But yeah, that makes sense why the story didn't add up. It was because someone was fucking lying. OP needs to drop that friend ASAP. That's not okay. Especially like knowing that trauma. Like, so many red flags. Getting shit-faced on a first date. That's just, ugh. What a terrible first experience back dating. Yeah, bro goes on the first date after his wife dies and gets harassed. That's so messy, man, because now that probably put him back even more. Yeah, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you have a friend who's pulling shit like that, you should not be their friend. Definitely tell them that they fucked up and hold them responsible, but like, nah, bro, you don't associate with people like that. Oh, and let me see if the relevant comments are very important. Wow, this is a comment saying that OP should maintain a friendship with her if she apologizes to Chuck, which, I mean, I don't think so, man. I'm just such a big fan of like drunk actions or sober thoughts. Like, it sounds like she has a very unhealthy relationship with sex. Like, no matter who you are, guy or girl, pressuring someone that heavily is just not okay. Ooh, OP did clarify. Britt apologized for lying, but not anything else. Just excuses about how she acts when she drinks too much. I hate that, bro. I have met people like this in my life who just think them drinking excuses any shitty actions that they take while drinking. It's never been this extreme, but I just think those kinds of people are a red flag. That is the base of alcoholism. Someone replied to this part of the comment that I just read and said, this is a quote from you in another comment that means it's not the first time she's assaulted someone. Which, yeah, I didn't put that together, but they are probably right. This is just how she acts when she drinks too much. Yikes, dude. I think perhaps before cutting Britt out of your life, you should straight up ask Chuck if he felt she was R-wordy or just a pushy drunk. OOP replied, he felt threatened for sure. He said that the other day, and in hindsight, I could feel it when he came to my house that night. He had been crying and didn't talk to anyone for weeks. Shit, bro. I mean, not even just the trauma of like something like that happening to you, but then also like he finally opens up after years of grieving for his wife to try being in a relationship with somebody else, and then that happens to him, dude. She has alcohol issues? No, for sure. She definitely has alcohol issues. I think alcohol just gives people the confidence to pull shit like that. I think it just allowed her to have the confidence to do something that she probably wanted to do sober. I would tell the friend that I can forgive her for lying, but that doesn't mean I can remain friends, especially because she's still excusing her behavior and not taking accountability. I think forgiving someone for part of it makes them feel like you're forgiving them for all of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go up to them and you're like, I forgive you for one thing for not the other. That seems pointless to me. I feel like you go up to her and you're like, hey, so I've been thinking about this and you massively fucked up in a disgusting and illegal way that violated somebody to the worst possible point. You need to be held accountable for that, and also know that it just ruined our relationship, because I don't fuck with people like that. I don't think there's any like handling with kitty gloves that Brit deserves. Yeah, real friends call out their friends for fucked up shit. Real friends also ditch the shitty friends. I truly believe that. It takes losing someone in your life to actually make a change if there's a possibility that Brit's gonna make a change in her life, you know? My wife had her wild phase before me, and now that I'm finally thriving, I feel like I missed out. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Posted in r/ask men advice. Oh, great. Definitely the best place to go for advice. Posted on August 16, 2025. I've been married to my wife for 5 years, together for 8. We have 2 beautiful children. She's been my first everything. My first girlfriend, my first real relationship, my first in every sense. I didn't really date in high school or college because honestly, I didn't take care of myself. I lacked confidence and didn't feel attractive, so I stayed focused on other things. My wife, on the other hand, had a more typical college experience. She had a few relationships and had her phase, as she was extremely attractive. She even did stuff with 2 guys at the same time. She was upfront about it when we started dating, and it never bothered me, although I tried not to think about it too much. Now here's the thing. Over the years, she's become quite reserved when it comes to intimacy. She says she had her wild side during college, and now that she's done with that phase, she prefers a more traditional approach to intimacy. She says she's tried everything she wanted to and knows what she enjoys and what she doesn't enjoy in the bedroom, and she wants to build intimacy on love, not wild lust. And I completely respect that. I'm not trying to do something which doesn't excite her in the bedroom. But lately, I've changed. I'm in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally. Even my family and friends are kind of shocked with how I look now. My wife loves the new me and says she finds me more attractive than ever. But to be blunt, I don't care that my wife finds me attractive because I know I look good now, and it's not like her finding me more attractive will change anything in the bedroom department. That's so weird. Like, the one person that it should matter to you if they find you more attractive is the one that you don't care about. My hormones right now are all over the place, and I can't help but feel like I missed my chance to experience that same fun side of life. I never had the exploration, the experimentation, the freedom. Now that I finally feel great about myself, that door seems closed. I mean, honestly, bro, skill issue. Oh, I'm sorry you were a fucking loser and didn't experience that stuff. You know whose fault that is? Yours. You can't woo, I didn't have that experience, woe is me, when that A is all you, and B, you chose a route that doesn't allow you to experience that anymore. I brought it up with my sister, in parentheses, we're close, and she was surprisingly blunt. She said it's unfair that my wife got to have those experiences and now expects me to settle for less than what she once enjoyed. What? Yo, fucking L sister, what do you mean, bro? I go to my sisters with this shit, my sister would be like, are you fucking stupid? All 3 of them would start wailing on me, and I deserve it. What do you mean? The fuck? That hit me harder than I expected, but my sister also loves me to death and said some crazy stuff like I deserve to have an experience with at least one other woman in my life, else I'll keep resenting my wife. I love my wife. I don't want to hurt her. I'm not thinking of cheating or anything like that, but I do feel stuck between respecting her boundaries and acknowledging my own desires that never had a chance to exist. That's so fucking dumb, because they totally did have a chance to exist. You actively didn't pursue them. You can't fucking dig a hole so deep that you can't get out and then go, oopsies, I can't get out. Woe is me. This is all you, bro. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Has anyone else been in this situation? How did you cope? Yes, you are wrong for feeling this way. The comments should be, nah, bro, fuck you. You fucked up. This is on you. Go to therapy. But let's see what people in Ask Men advice were saying. Top comments. First one, I would be careful taking your sister's advice about your relationship. The right thing is to have an honest conversation with your wife. Be direct. I mean, yeah, but I hope your wife fucking calls you stupid. Someone replied to that saying this guy's sister hates his wife. Then someone replied to that saying, yep, sister would not plant that seed against another woman without ulterior motives. Not enough info to know if sister is justified. There is almost no situation where the sister is justified, unless OP's wife is like abusing him or something like that. But that's fucking crazy. Another commenter said the grass is never greener on the other side. It's just different grass. From someone who is in the kink world, get really clear on what it is you actually want. Every fantasy sounds great in your imagination or in porn, but whatever it is you want to explore, it will not be the same when played out with your wife or any other woman. if you break up or whatever. It is a tale as old as time for a married person to have tons of ideas of what leaving their domesticated problems will be like. They think it will be swimming in pussy, or men will be lining up for them. And reality is very, very different. They are often disappointed and wish they could have their marriage and family back. It would be better to talk to your wife, likely in therapy, that you feel like you need to spice things up. You won't get anywhere by just being mad at her. I'm gonna be so real. It doesn't sound like OP wants to spice things up. To me, OP wants to sleep with other women. And like, look, man, if you're single and that's what you want, fuck, bro, go for it. But when you said I do, when you said forever and always, and then proceeded to have 2 kids with that person, I'm sorry, but this is just fucking beta bitch ass male activity. Like, if you make that commitment and now you're like, oh, wee woo, I got hot and now I want to fuck other women, you are weak. You are a pussy baby back bitch. Oh, wee woo, you couldn't bang other girls and have a spicy sex life because you were a loser. On you, by the way. He literally said, I didn't take care of myself. I didn't do anything to make myself more attractive and be in the state that I'm in now. Skill issue. That's on you, bro. I'm sorry. You can't wee woo, oh, woe is me. Angel Face says it sounds like they're sexually incompatible, but I don't think that's what he's saying. He's literally saying, like, I want to sleep with other women. At no point was I reading this thinking that the real issue was that they aren't having crazy kinky sex. The issue that he is bringing up is, oh, woe is me, I didn't get to fuck girls because I was a loser. That's the real place where he's coming from. Also, I should acknowledge, very rare r/ask men advice W. Do I think they went as nuclear on him as they should have? No. I mean, there probably were some people validating it, but at least the top comments weren't validating it. There should be an r/ask not stupid fucking men subreddit. You know what I'm saying? r/ask men who respect women. Where's that subreddit, bro? He didn't have any other experience because he didn't want to and blames his wife for it. That's what I'm saying. I understand being like, she experienced something that I didn't, but he's not going, she experienced something that I didn't, but it's my fault. Like, he's just like, oh, she actually explored in college and I didn't. That's unfair. Even though I had every opportunity to, or could have tried to take the opportunity to. Men, stop blaming women for their issues challenge. For real. Like I said, skill issue, bro. Like, I was kind of there a little bit, chat. Like, in college, I didn't have that much game. I was getting fucking played by women and taking their mattress fucking across state lines for them for free and then getting ghosted. But you get better at it. If you wanted to explore, you should have explored. And also, I'll say this for a fact, no amount of exploration beats having somebody who loves and cares for you deeply and wants to do that forever. I'll fucking die on that hill. That is just extreme facts. When you have somebody who cares about you and loves you in a great way, that is immensely better than going around and sleeping with random people for a quick little dopamine hit. So OP updated it 11 hours later. I posted this last night and went to bed. I woke up a couple hours ago, read through a lot of the replies. Thank you for the honesty, and decided to have a conversation with my wife this morning. My wife and I are usually very honest with each other. I was upfront with her about how I've been feeling, specifically that I haven't been feeling very desired lately. She was surprised at first and even a little shocked because we're usually pretty lovey-dovey with each other. At first, she thought I was joking, but I told her I was serious. She reassured me that she loves me more than she could ever put into words and that she finds me incredibly attractive. Didn't he say up here that he doesn't give a shit what his wife thinks about him? My wife loves the new me and says she finds me more attractive than ever, but to be blunt, I don't care that my wife finds me attractive. And then bro starts off the conversation with, he hasn't been feeling very desired lately? Someone call the plumber because it smells stinky as shit in here. I think OP is just full of shit. I asked her why I have to initiate intimacy most of the time, and that seemed to hit her. She got quiet. This is not any of the problems that you brought up. Where is that in the first paragraph? I asked her why I have to initiate intimacy most of the time, and that seemed to hit her. She got quiet and then told me she would make an effort to initiate more often and even kissed me then to show she meant it. She wanted to do it there, but I rejected her and told her I wasn't done. Okay, I guess that's actually a good thing. Never mind. I told her that initiating more was a start, but what I really wanted was way, way, way more than that. I opened up about how she's had the chance to explore her fantasies and experiment in her past while I never had that chance. I told her about the attention I've been getting from other women recently, like for example, 3 women at the library I go to regularly who've been very upfront with me, and how I've turned all of them down, but that it still made me think. I told her I don't feel desired at all at home, and in fact, I feel more desired at the library or park or even at work when I talk to women. Okay, so let's be so fucking for real, chat. These first 2 paragraphs were just things that he probably doesn't even have that big of a problem with because he never brought them up in these paragraphs, but he's using these to make his wife feel worse, to make her feel like this is her fault. And then bro goes over here and starts talking about how he values the desire from random women more than his wife. Okay, cool. Yes, these women desire you now that you look hot and attractive. Bro, you're telling this to the woman who wanted you before you looked good. Are you fucking stupid? Oh no, bro, steak too juicy, lobster too buttery. Like, this woman loved you when you were a fucking wreck, and now she loves you as a hot guy, and what you're saying is that her love and her affection and her attention is lesser than these random fucking women. I really hope the wife comes out of this conversation like, holy fuck, you're a bad person. This is a ticking time bomb for a guy who's gonna fucking cheat on me, and whips out the divorce papers. Then I told her directly, I want to seriously spice up our bedroom life. I'm not talking about just small things. I told her I'm in the best shape of my life, and right now I want to feel that kind of wild lust that I never got to experience. Not in a reckless way. I just want that passion and fire, at least for the next few years while I feel this good in my skin. To my surprise, my wife was very receptive to what I said. We sat down and talked more openly than we have in a long time. I told her some of the fantasies in my head that I'd like to explore, and she actually listened and took me seriously. But then something happened that I wasn't expecting. She broke down in tears. She asked if I still found her attractive. That hurt to hear because of course I do. I hugged her, comforted her, and told her I still find her beautiful as ever. Yes, she's gone through some body changes since giving birth, but that doesn't change how I feel about her at all. So yeah, that's probably my final update. We still have a lot to talk about, but for the first time in a while, I feel heard and hopeful. Thank you all again for your input. It really gave me the push I needed to be honest with myself and with my wife. Dude, I think this guy is on his way to cheating on his wife. I think that's where this is going, bro. I understand if you're like, hey, I want to experience a little bit kinkier, wild sex. I totally understand that. If you're like, hey, this is a desire of mine, let's have a constructive conversation so that we can maybe do this without crossing any boundaries, and it's important to me. Like, I get that. I don't understand the, well, now that I'm attractive, other women want me, and that's something I'm seriously thinking about now. You don't see the like, oh, hey, this woman invested in me when I was a penny stock, and now that I'm a blue chip, I gotta go look at other investors. Other investors are more important to me, and I value how they feel about me, and I'm more willing to entertain what they have to offer than the person who doubled down when I showed no potential. I just think that is the most fucking disgusting thing I've ever read. Just an awful fucking mindset. And I know that was a very finance bro-esque example. I'm sorry, that was the only way I could fucking figure out how to build a metaphor around what the fuck is happening here. What are these top comments? Yep, oh, here we go. First top comment, I have a feeling this is definitely not over. Another comment replying to that, all this is in quotations. Hey guys, talked to my wife about it and it went great. She broke down in tears and asked if I still found her attractive. I think that's a great sign. I'm about to have so much hot sex. Oh, and also, I told her that I value the opinions of random women at the library who hit on me more than hers. Oh, also, I gaslit her into thinking that the real problem is that she's not validating me enough. Like, holy narcissist, bro. Someone replied to that comment saying he'll be back posting about how he was blindsided by the divorce after things got spicier, i.e. he convinced her she needed to do things she didn't want to do to keep him happy, and she finally left. Remind me in 6 months. I'm so curious what the comments are saying on Best of Reddit updates. It's pretty fucked up to bring up how often other women are hitting on him the first time he bothers to talk to his wife about this. It's not even a subtle way to say that he's going to seek out other women if his wife doesn't comply with his demands, especially when they have 2 children, presumably under the age of 5 years old. I'm glad I read this one right, because holy fuck was this a shit show, man. Just disgusting. On some like dudes be thinking with the head down here instead the head up here type shit. It's so ungodly brain dead. What he was really trying to say was, I want to sleep with other women. But he played some insane mental chess to make his wife think that the problem is that they're not having kinky enough sex. Meanwhile, pitting her against other women and gaslighting her into thinking that this stems from her not validating him enough. The crazy part is he probably doesn't even know he's a fucking awful person. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like this just are so delusional and ignorant, they think that what they're doing isn't wrong. He's not self-aware enough to know, hey man, there's something fucked up in your head. You have a beautiful wife who loves you and 2 kids, and yet the only thing you're thinking about is fucking other women. Like, if the only thing that's gonna make you happy is sleeping with other women, then don't get married. Am I the a-hole for still getting on a flight home when my 2 young coworkers I was traveling with weren't at the airport yet and were obviously going to miss it? Posted in r/am I the a-hole on August 3rd, 2025. Shout out the Reddit on Wiki guys. It was saved on Reddit on Wiki, which I'm guessing it's their subreddit. This past week, I was presented with an industry award in Nashville that an agency partner nominated me for. I'm a director at my company. My CEO decided to send 2 junior level employees to the event as well because they thought it would be a good experience for them. A specialist who has been with us a little over a year, 25 female, first job out of college, and a summer intern, 21 female, rising senior. They are not on my team. They report up through a separate VP, and I have very limited / no interaction with them in daily work life. What a weird decision to send them on the trip. They were very excited to be going. This was going to be the specialist's first time on a plane. Lots of Teams chats asking what to wear, etc. We were flying in Thursday morning and leaving Friday evening, so it was a very short trip. But I tried to help share info about the event. Type of attendees, awards reception / presentation Thursday night with a country western theme. Then I was speaking on a panel Friday morning. There's so much I could say, but I'll try to highlight key points. Specialist barely made the Thursday AM flight because she doesn't have a real ID and had to do extra screening. I mean, at me next time, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I have not gotten the real ID thing, and it's been months. I know, I'm lazy. Oopsies. She had no idea what a real ID was or the basic rules of flying, liquid restrictions, etc. She was very upset they made her throw away some of her skincare that was over 3 ounces. If you as a company are paying for your employee to go fly, I think there should be some sort of like, hey, so this is how you operate. Let us know if you have any questions about it. They're grown adults. They should have done their own research. I don't agree with that though, because I recognize that I'm super privileged. I had parents who flew with me and walked me through that process. So then as an adult, I had that all figured out. I cannot imagine having to navigate the airport by myself without my parents' guidance. Like, honestly, y'all, I kind of feel for this specialist because I know myself. I know I'm a fucking dumbass. I would have done the exact same thing because there's no way I would have known that. If you don't go to an airport, how the fuck are you supposed to know about this real ID shit? Y'all, I fly relatively frequently, and the real ID thing, it bamboozled me too. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was coming along. The only reason I knew about it was because the day before I happened to have a flight, I had a call with the woman who was helping me plan my Rome trip, and she told me about the real ID thing. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm traveling tomorrow. Guess I'm taking my passport instead. Or like, two, how the fuck are you supposed to know that you're not allowed to take certain ounces of liquid? Like, I don't know, man. I think I have more sympathy for her as an adult trying to figure this out later in life, because you're gonna have other people who think you're a dumbass for it, but I totally understand how you wouldn't know this stuff unless you've been flying pretty frequently before and or had your parents walk you through it. Babe, it's been advertised since 2010. Where? Fucking where? I travel a lot and I had never seen that shit. Also, just saying, who the fuck cares? I'm sorry, bro. You tell me in 2010 that in 15 years I have to get a new ID? Like, shit, bro, you tell me 4 months from now that I need to get a new ID, I'm gonna be like, that's 4 months away. Nah, bro, at least with this specialist, I low-key am with her. Listen, am I saying that the company's in the wrong or OP's in the wrong? No, but I kind of understand this. And I low-key think, like, if you're a company paying for your employee to fly for the first time, I think y'all should cover your bases and be like, hey, in case you've never flown before, here's a how-to guide. She was very upset they made her throw away some of her skincare that was over 3 ounces. Thursday night event was country western theme, and while a majority of people there were business casual, intern shows up in a bandana tube top, micro skirt, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat. I pulled her aside and asked if she wanted to run upstairs and change since it was still a business event, but she said she was fine and she thought she looked cute and on theme. All right, so I don't have as much grace for her because I'm sorry. You should know if you go to a business event, you can't be going out like that. If you're going out with your girls, all power to you. You're at a business event. You got to network. You got to represent your company. Like, I will say, I think that's an education issue. As much as I like to be silly, goofy on the internet. I am very business minded. And the way that I've always run everything in my business is you pretty much have to go about everything being like, this needs to be idiot proof. If something bad happens, it's because you didn't explain it well enough. And if you did explain it well enough, then maybe you're hiring the wrong people. To me, I'm like, was there any idiot proofing? Was there any, hey, so you're going on this trip? Just want to remind you guys, you're representing the business. Make sure you're dressing appropriately. Make sure you're blah, 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 blah. Not saying that she shouldn't have known better, because I really think you should, because like, that's like your whole ass job, bro. That being said, I also kind of want to blame the company here. Me personally, I'm company blaming, bro. Maybe common sense. That's how I feel. But I feel like when you have a business, like you kind of have to operate under the expectation that you will hire somebody with not very much common sense, and you should at least try to prep to like at least do your best to make sure that if they don't have common sense, you lay everything out on the table to the point where the only excuse is that they're stupid or they didn't listen. And that might just be my own personal business philosophy. Don't get me wrong, I think she should know better. The education is so bad in this country. I feel like the general expectation is that for certain things, you can't expect somebody to just know that just because of their age. It's still pretty dumb though. After the ceremony, I invited them to join me with some colleagues I knew from other companies in the hotel bar, but they tell me they want to check out Broadway. I make a face and say this would be a good networking opportunity. They make, come on, mom, jokes. And so I tell them to be safe and remind them the time and location of the first session the next day. Text them around 11 p.m. that I hope they got back safe. No response. Went to bed. Text them the next morning, offering to meet them for coffee before morning sessions. No response. Listen, I get it, but like, dude, they're in their early 20s. We didn't even get OP's age. I mean, I don't know how old OP is, but I think, yes, it would be a great networking opportunity, but frowning on somebody for wanting to take advantage of their company flying them out somewhere where they've already put their 9 to 5 in and now they want to like actually enjoy the town. It just seems like a little too, okay, girl, like, come on. You get the 9 to 5 to be judgy, but then after that, you got to let them do what they want to do. No idea if they actually attended any sessions or saw my panel, but I did find them in the hotel lobby afterward looking incredibly hungover. Have about 2 hours after the event is over and before we need to go to the airport, I invite them to late lunch with our agency partners. They decline because they want to go to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Again, make a face and say I don't know if they will have time, and I think it would be a good opportunity for them to spend time with our agency. They act like I'm the wet blanket, so I tell them I'm leaving for the airport from the hotel at 4 p.m. sharp and meet me in the lobby so we could share a lift. Text them at 3:45 that the lift is arriving in 15 minutes. No response. Text them that the lift has arrived and I'm leaving for the airport. No response. Text them when I get to the airport and tell them security line is long. Neither had pre-check. No response. If there's any argument for the girls, I feel like it's going into the toilet by all this no response. Does OP kind of sound a little too like business corporate stick up the ass? 100%. That being said, I don't think OP has done anything wrong, and they're doing their best to try to walk these girls not only through the trip, but also through advancing their careers, which at least with what we've been given so far, OP is not checking the boxes for you're the a-hole for me. I text them when I get to the gate to please give me some sign of life. In turn, sends very short responses about 10 minutes later. In quotations, in the lift, there's traffic. Nothing else. Text them the flight is starting to board. No response. Text them when I'm in my seat that boarding is about to end. No response. Doors close. They don't make it. I put my phone on airplane mode. Land a couple hours later to a barrage of texts from them. They're stranded in Nashville. Don't know what to do. How to rebook. Who to call for help, etc. I also have an angry voicemail from specialist's mom that I abandoned her daughter in Nashville. Okay, girl, I'm sorry. Any hope left that I had to defend this 25-year-old just went in the fucking toilet. Because what do you mean at the age of 25, you're suffering the consequences of your own actions and you go, let me call up my mommy so that she can go yell at my boss? Like, what? I'm so sorry, but do you want to keep your job? Do you want to do well at the company that you work for? Because to me, it looks like the answer is no. I also have an angry voicemail from the specialist mom that I abandoned her child in Nashville. She has never flown and has anxiety. She's having a panic attack at the airport and needs medical attention. She could be human trafficked. In parentheses, question mark, question mark, question mark. I call specialist and intern back. Both phones ring, but neither pick up. I text to see if they were able to rebook. No response. Forward them an email with our business travel info with after hours contact and text them that I sent the email. No response. Texted an hour or so later to see if they were okay. No response. did not call the mom back. That's insane. Dude, I have editors and shit that help me with my shit. They're not really employees, they're all contractors. But like, for example, Raya is helping me with my clips channel. If Raya's mom called me, I'd be like, hey Raya, love you. What the fuck? Like, what? What do you mean you had your mom call me, bro? I'm sorry, bro, but my mommy's mad at you. I wouldn't take anyone seriously professionally if that happened. I also have a text from their director asking what's going on. I don't know her well. I just started with this co-director a couple weeks ago. I sent her a brief overview and screenshots of all my unanswered texts to them from earlier in the day, along with the transcript of the voicemail I got from the mom. She acknowledges my response, but no further dialogue. Now I get an invite for a Monday morning meeting from the director with their VP and our C-suite leader. My VP is on PTO. Damn. I feel like these are adults. I was communicative and I'm ultimately not responsible for their decisions, but you tell me, am I the a-hole here? No, I think not the a-hole. I don't think OP did anything wrong. If you want to blame anybody in the scenario other than the 21-year-old and the 25-year-old, I think you should blame the company. Like, them not knowing how to act is on the company, not on OP. OP wasn't there to babysit. OP was there to get their award and to network. I'm sorry, but if they hop into this call on Monday and they're like, actually, you were supposed to be these 21 and 25-year-olds babysitters, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? Show me in the job description where it says babysit a 21-year-old who doesn't know how to act professional and babysit a 25-year-old who handled the difficult situation by giving out my personal phone number to their mother. Absolutely not, bro. If you go into that meeting and they're trying to pull some fuck shit on you, it's time for a new job. That's insane. I would be so disappointed if I was the 25-year-old's mother. Like, you're telling me you didn't raise a self-sufficient child? Like, don't get me wrong, I was super sympathetic about not being able to operate inside of an airport. That being said, you get put in a tricky situation, like, you gotta figure that out, bro. You're a 25-year-old adult. Do I think the airport sucks and it's hard to navigate? Yeah, but you should be able to have the skills to navigate that without having a full-on breakdown at the age of 25. Me personally, that's what I believe. You guys will see in my Italy vlog, I had a whole day where I was pissed at the Italian train system and had to figure out how the fuck I was gonna get to my destination and how the fuck the whole train system worked. Don't get me wrong, I crashed out, but I figured it out, bro. In a whole other country that speaks a whole other language, I figured that shit out. And I'm not that much older than 25, bro. I'm turning 28 next month. Like, first update, August 4th, 2025. Here's my update after my meeting this morning. Chief Marketing Officer didn't join. It was the other VP and director plus the internship coordinator who is in HR. VP asked all the questions. It was over Teams, on camera, recorded, almost comically formal, like I was being deposed or something. During the meeting, I was asked to recap what happened, starting from when we arrived. I was prepared. I had all my key points, kept it factual on my actions, no speculation on their actions. I shared my phone screen live, went through the text messages with timestamps and the voicemail from Specialist's mom. I was asked if I had requested or encouraged Specialist to put any expenses on her P card. This question took me by surprise. I said I didn't even ask or consider that she had a P card. And beside the lift from the airport to the hotel, which I scheduled / paid for, I was never outside of the hotel / official conference activities with either Specialist or intern that would have required any sort of payment. I'm guessing P card is just the business card or whatever. I did say I would consider it to be her line manager's responsibility to make sure she understood our travel and expense policies prior to traveling. I mean, I think there should have been a whole traveling debrief, you know, especially if you're sending someone there for the first time. You know, I'm actually curious, y'all. I kind of want to call my sister who's in corporate and travels a lot. Let me call her real quick and see if she'll give us some insight on this. Hold on. So Claire, say hi to stream real quick.
On Ben stream, what's up, y'all?
I have a question for you because you travel for work a lot. When you took your first trip, did like HR or anybody like that give you kind of like a how to travel debrief or anything like that? Like, did they teach you like, hey, this is what to expect when going through TSA? Like, this is how we expect you to act on the business trips?
We didn't have anyone telling us how to go through TSA, but we did definitely have a presentation before going on like our first on-site where they went over, you know, dress code, etiquette, expectations, and also what time we were supposed to be on site.
Okay.
So it was less so of the actual traveling and how to navigate an airport and more so how to act on site. But
okay.
I also went through an entire introductory program before I was put on my team.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Your company's pretty on top of it.
Yeah. definitely.
Crazy. Okay, I was just wondering because I was like, listen, I'm not in the corporate world, but I feel like a corporate company should give like some sort of presentation or how-tos, even with TSA, you know, because part of the story is she went to TSA, but it was her first time traveling. So she almost missed her flight because she didn't know like about real ID or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's hard for me to speak on because we grew up traveling. So
Yeah.
it wasn't new to me, but I also think YouTube's a thing.
That's true. Yeah, my chat's saying hi to you, by the way. Someone said,
Hi, chat.
someone said expert witness time.
It was just say really phoned a friend. I love that.
For real. I mean, that's the nice thing about being live. I could literally just be like, oh, let me call my sister real quick.
No, I love it. Hi, chat. Thank you for watching Ben. He's the best ever.
Oh, you're so nice.
Okay, well, let me know how it turns out.
Yep, we'll
Love
do.
you.
All right, love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. I love having built-in best friends, bro. That shit's great, man. Okay, so it sounds like from our expert witness that there's usually some shared like how to act and represent your company at one sample size company, but maybe I wasn't necessarily cooking with the how to go through TSA thing. Not in corporate, but my job kind of prepped us on the trips I've gone on. Not so much TSA stuff, but obviously made sure we had our passports, visas, discussed plans of how we'll work, paying/getting reimbursed. Sam, did they tell you like, I guess, etiquette of like when you're going out to dinner or when you're doing stuff? Not necessarily any like cultural or etiquette stuff that was left to the leads of the factories you were visiting. Got it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just harsh on corporate. I was asked if at any point I had reached out to anyone at the office about anything that was transpiring, to which I said no. I certainly intended to when I returned, but we are talking about everything that happened within a 32-ish hour window, all while I was trying to focus on what I was sent there to do. Participate as a panel member at the conference, attend other presentations, take advantage of face-to-face time with our agency, and accepting my award. I said I felt like it was reasonable to believe any other attendees would have expectations for participation and outcomes set by their leadership team, especially when coming from another department where I wouldn't be knowledgeable about their goals or objectives. Similarly, if there were different expectations of me based on other co-attendees, I would expect that to be clearly communicated in advance. Damn, this was such a fucking corporate response, but like, I get it. I understand what she's saying, and I agree with OP. I was not asked if I thought intern and or specialist should receive any sort of reprimand, and I didn't feel comfortable trying to interject something like that based on the flow of the conversation. I'm under the impression that they're meeting with specialist and intern separately, but my meeting was first. After the meeting, I debriefed with a trusted colleague who shared the following from Friday water cooler chats. 1, I definitely offended intern by pulling her aside about her outfit. She posted it to Snapchat with a caption about it, and some other interns/employees saw it. Dying to know what it exactly said, but coworkers said everyone who did see it agreed it was inappropriate for a work event. I'll leave that. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse on that one. She's clearly in the wrong there. Allegedly, specialist mom had once called previous director, who left, director in the meeting today replaced him, about specialists' working hours. It is known that several months ago, Specialist was pulled off a high-profile project team. Apparently, when she was asked to put in some evening and weekend hours to meet a deadline, the mom called the director and complained. Don't know if I believe this to be true, but mom stepping in could be a pattern. If there's already not, there definitely should be like some sort of corporate rule that goes against giving family members, co-workers phone numbers, right? Like that's just so crazy to me, bro. When I worked, I could never imagine giving one of my co-workers phone numbers, especially someone in a higher ranking position than me, their phone number to my mom. That is insane. Like who the fuck does that? I don't know. I just feel like that should be like written in. Honestly, y'all, I am very much against people just giving my phone number to other people without asking. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're like my best friend, my mom, my sibling. If you want to give my phone number to someone, I'm usually chill about it. You just have to let me know. I don't want to get a text message that's like, hey, Ben, this is so-and-so. I got your phone number through some other person who didn't ask if they could hand out my phone number. I just think that's very poor etiquette on anybody's part. What I'm hoping helps validate my testimony is separately on Friday, one of my agency partners I was with emailed my CMO about a conversation we had after the ceremony on Thursday evening with some ideas he had. Typical agency salesy stuff, but he also unknowingly corroborated my alibi on Thursday night. So that's where we're at. Last night, I had convinced myself this all would result in me receiving a big apology or acknowledgement of wrongdoing, and that I shouldn't have had to deal with this, etc. But I didn't, which makes me feel this is still a bit unresolved. I did send all my notes to my VP on Sunday, but his PTO is medical related. And I know he's not really able to check in, so just keeping my head down until I hear anything else. Oh my God, guys. And then there's another update. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I don't think OP's in the wrong. I think these people are in the wrong. I hope that's where we get a conclusion to. I think my takeaway from this is like in corporate America, you really have to lay out everything. Like the fact that the intern and the specialist thought that OP for some reason was like their babysitter or their keeper. The fact that they just looked at this as like a free vacation and didn't know how to act, like that to me falls on the company. Like me as a business owner, I'm thinking like, okay, if I ever have employees who are representing my business, I need to make sure to idiot proof how they're supposed to act when they're representing me on a trip. Final update, August 6th, 2025. 2 days after the first update and 3 days after the whole debacle. Apparently OP was like doxed a little bit, which is fucking terrifying. There is a question, has anyone from my job seen my post? That's a little juicy. OP replied, yes, in some form. More than one person, in fact. Perhaps naively, this is something I never even considered would happen. It's Reddit, it's anonymous, and everything is cycled through in about 24 hours, right? But as soon as the reaction video started coming out across my For You page, a People magazine article, and all the other ways this took on life of its own, not gonna lie, I had a pretty severe panic about this. Like, wow. I handled the situation as best as I could and came out relatively unscathed, but me seeking validation of internet strangers will be what takes me out in the end. I mean, that's crazy, bro. It's not like you're dropping the name of the company or anything like that. Like, I think you should be able to post about it. And as long as, like, me as a regular reader can't figure out what company he works for, I think it should be fine, bro. So far, I've not been reprimanded over it, but I accept whatever comes of it. Not my most professional move to air out others, not most professional moves on the internet, and I will seek a healthier outlet in the future. Maybe I'll make friendship bracelets or try diamond painting. Why is that a thing? What the fuck? That seems random. I don't know, bro. I think you should air out your dirty laundry because, like, I kind of understand too being like, bro, am I really wrong here? Like, who else is OP gonna go to about this? Why not get the mass opinion of the internet? And then also too, like, if I'm OP and like the verdict goes the wrong way, I'm gonna be like, look at all these people who are calling y'all fucking crazy. Will the specialist or intern be fired? OP replies to that saying, to my knowledge, they are both still employed, although today is the official last day for the entire summer intern cohort. I know how I would handle one of my team members if they did this, but I trust they would never, ever, ever, because they're sensible and smart and amazing and probably reading this. But for these two, it's not up to me to decide. And while I take full accountability for bringing all gestures widely this on myself, I'm at a point where I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative within my actual place of work. In conclusion, for everyone who commented and sent something nice and supportive messages, thank you. Sincerely, I did get some good advice, and I'm glad I could help you temporarily escape into someone else's work drama, provide HR training material for new employees on travel policies, or maybe validate that whatever you did on your first work trip that creeps into your brain when you're trying to fall asleep at night wasn't actually that bad. I took the rest of the week off, which may seem like an overreaction, but sometimes weird stuff impacts you in ways you aren't prepared for. I'm going to use the time to rest, do a bit of reflection, and look at pictures of geriatric Pomeranians. I'm not gonna lie, chat, I hate an update that really isn't an update. Like, this paragraph was the only, like, real important part of the update, and even that was like, I don't think so, but maybe. Shit, I guess the takeaway of this is like, bro, if you are in a professional setting, act professional. If you go on a work trip, yes, don't get me wrong, like, have your fun while you can, but, like, don't have your fun to the point where it's risking your professional career. I also kind of agree with OP where, like, if you're going on a work trip, at least 80% of it should be focused on, like, networking and doing things that will build your career, whether it's paid for by you or not. Like, I'm thinking, y'all, I went to VidCon and the amount of creators who were there just to fuck around and party with other creators and not do anything kind of astonished me. I was like, y'all, there are people who work at Meta, Spotify, YouTube, Snapchat, who are going up and speaking, and then you have the opportunity to get some FaceTime with them. Why the fuck are y'all fucking off? Like, don't get me wrong, I had fun at VidCon. I went to a party, it was great. I drank a little bit with my friends, I got to know other creators, it was cool. But you can do both, you know? It doesn't have to be one or the other. My neighbor thinks I hexed her because her sourdough starter died, and now she's staging counter spells in my yard. I didn't even know starters could die. I don't know, isn't that bacteria or something? That's crazy. Original post August 8th, 2025. Originally posted to r/2hot takes. So I live in a duplex and my neighbor her. Let's call her Linda. Is this 50-something woman who's really into witchcraft, crystals, moon water, the whole deal. I don't care. She's harmless, or she was. What in the actual fuck is moon water? Do I have to Google this? This can't possibly be water from the moon like I'm thinking, right? Moon water is regular water that has been charged with lunar energy by being left out under the moonlight, typically during a full or new moon. So if I get a bowl of water and leave it outside during a full moon, that's moon water. So like it's the same as the priest blessing water. It's just water. Incredible. Weird, but okay. About a month ago, she came over ranting that her sourdough starter died overnight and that she could feel my energy was bad that day. I laughed because it's bread goo. I told her maybe it was just mold or she forgot to feed it. Big mistake. Ever since she's convinced I hexed her kitchen, she started doing these loud cleansing rituals in our shared front yard at like 3 a.m. Burning sage, chanting in what I think is bad Spanish, and sprinkling mystery liquid around my plants. One morning, I found my basil covered in glitter. Hey, yo, what is this mystery liquid, though? That's what I'm most concerned about. What do you mean mystery liquid? Are we talking moon water or are we talking blood of animals? I don't know exactly, but can't you call a noise complaint on someone being loud at 3 a.m.? Like, I'm pretty sure you can, right? Girl, call the cops on this crazy bitch. Last week, she escalated. I came home and there was a raw chicken. Not even packaged, just a raw, slimy chicken sitting in the middle of my welcome mat with a note taped to it that said, "The curse is returned." I literally had to bleach my doorstep. I've tried ignoring it, but last night she knocked on my door holding a mason jar of cloudy water and told me to drink this so we can be friends again. I said, "No, Linda," and then shut the door. She started screaming that I don't respect the balance and that the bread gods will punish me. Yo, the bread gods love me, bro, because you know I be getting that bread. My bread god different from your bread god. You know I get that shit. Sorry, bad joke. Bad joke. That's so fucking funny, though. Bro, the bread gods. If someone said that to me, I think I'd mandatory have to recommend a psych ward for them. That's grippy sock vacation right there. I get being into witchcraft, bro. Like, sure, do your thing. But, like, if you believe in bread gods, let's pull out them grippy socks. Now, I'm wondering if I should call the police, but how do you even explain my neighbor thinks I killed her yeast and is retaliating with poultry-based magic? I mean, you gotta break it down to, like, the actual crimes, right? Like, I think the 3 a.m. thing would count as public disturbance. I don't think you're supposed to be loud and obnoxious at night, but then this is harassment. Isn't her leaving a whole raw slimy chicken on someone's doorstep harassment? I feel like there's a harassment argument here, but I don't know. What do y'all say? She's having a psychotic episode in trespassing. I guess that's a fair one too. Just gotta lean into it. Tell her clearly the bread gods hate her and don't feel she deserves sourdough. You know, negative like, that's actually such a funny bit. Like, oh, hey, you wanna fuck with me? I'm gonna fuck right back. Bro, the bread gods contacted me last night. They said the sourdough you were making, mid. And that's why they killed your sourdough starter. Oh man, that's so good. Ooh, she destroyed property on 2 occasions with the glitter basil and doormat. That's actually a good point too. I think you just really have to break it down to like what crime she's committing. Because she is committing some sort of crime. Like, this is not okay. There is one update on this coming in about 2 days after the original post, August 10th, 2025. The night I posted that story, I saw her burying a Ziploc bag of cooked spaghetti under my car and yelling that she has to do this to confuse the bread spirits. I thought that would be my last straw, but then last night, I saw her in my backyard, my fenced backyard, shaking what looked like a salt shaker over my lawn while mumbling something about restoring the bread line. That was it. I called the non-emergency police line. Girl, that is quote unquote an emergency, right? Like, doesn't this make it so that her lawn can't grow shit? That's definitely destruction of property right there. Honestly, if I were you, if your building is owned by the same landlord, I'd call them because I'm sure the landlord doesn't want her salting the lawn. That literally makes it so that the lawn can't grow. Makes it so nothing will ever grow there again. That's what I'm saying, Vanessa. Like, it's not good to salt the lawn. 2 officers show up about 20 minutes later. I explain the whole situation, the dead sourdough starter, the 3 a.m. chanting, the raw chicken, the jars of swamp water, the spaghetti burial, all of it. I try to make it sound serious, but not too insane. They go to talk to her, and within 30 seconds, I hear her yelling, "She's lying. The dough told me what she did." Well, I mean, if the dough told her what OP did, The dough is never lying. Then she drags them into her kitchen to show them the evidence. 10 minutes later, the officers come back out looking like they just survived a hostage negotiation with the Pillsbury Doughboy. They said she has some unusual beliefs, but as long as she's not physically harming me or damaging property, their hands are tied. They suggested I install a fence, in parentheses, I have one, and avoid engaging. I mean, typical shit. What did we expect? Typical fucking stupid police officers. Isn't she actually destroying property with the salt? Like, tell me I'm wrong. I'm gonna look it up. Yes, intentionally salting someone's property can be considered destruction of property and lead to criminal charges like vandalism or malicious mischief. It may also result in civil legal action. What the fuck do you mean she's not damaging property? That's insane, bro. Typical cops being cops. As they were leaving, Linda stood on her porch holding a loaf of bread over her head like the Lion King baby and screamed, "The curse will turn on you." So now I have police documentation, 0 solutions, and a neighbor who probably thinks she won that round. What a weird one, bro. I just don't get that. I think we need to start normalizing telling cops that they're wrong. Because, like, she is destroying property. What do you mean there's no destruction of property? I still think the landlord play is the move. Because it says, I live in a duplex and my neighbor, let's call her Linda. I'm guessing that means that you live in this duplex with her. I'm sure the landlord isn't gonna love to hear that she's running around salting your lawn so that shit can't grow back. I think that's the next play. Of like, yo, this woman is clearly fucking crazy. Let's get her that little eviction notice. Make it your landlord's problem. The quantity of salt matters. Sprinkling salt from a salt shaker will not do much damage. You need a lot of salt soaked in the earth for there to be long-term damage. Okay, but even if that's not the case, what about trespassing? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much there that's just like, I don't get it. You can argue that it's going to cause damage or that she at least had intent. Like, I just think there's multiple arguments that the cops are just too lazy and too scared. A friend of mine broke into my house, put her stuff at random places to make it look like she's been a tenant. Cops arrive, finds her stuff all over the place, and so of course they won't remove her. What do I do now? Posted in r/legal advice. Original post December 18th, 2016. I have a friend who called me last night asking for a place to stay. I politely told her no. She's 25, I'm 19, and I should mention she's a narcissist bitch. Calling her a friend and then following it up with she's a narcissist bitch is like, why are we even friends with her then, dog? Today I was over at my cousin's place this morning, and when I came home a couple of hours ago, I found this bitch inside my house. No signs of a break-in from the outside. I ask her how she got in, and she tells me through the back window. I tell her I never gave you permission to come here and that she needs to leave immediately, and she says, deal with it. I call the cops and tell them that there's a person who got inside my house without my permission and that I need an officer to come and remove her. A couple minutes later, they arrive, and here's what happens. She tells them, I know my rights, officers. I've been a legal tenant in this house for 2 months now, and you can't just remove me. I can go around, show you my clothes in the wardrobe, my toothbrush and my conditioner in the bathroom, and all of my other stuff. They take a walk with her, and all of her fucking stuff is all over my house. She fucking broke into my house and put her stuff all over so that the cops would think she's been a tenant. Okay, but isn't that not the stuff that they're supposed to be looking for? Like, what makes somebody a legal tenant is like the mail and stuff like that, right, chat? That is crazy, though. That is insane level manipulation. I mean, if I were OP, though, I don't know if they have a lease signed at this house, but I would literally be telling them, like, bro, you gotta kick this person out. Yeah, proof of residency. That's what I'm wondering. Like, if I'm the cop, I'm checking her license to make sure that, like, on her license is the address that I'm at. Like, this is fucking crazy. Keep in mind, cops here might be doing the bare minimum. I mean, as cops usually do. The next thing they tell me is that I have to serve her with an eviction notice and that they can't legally remove her since she's considered a tenant. I didn't even know what to tell them as I felt so dumbfounded and shocked. I was set up like this. I was silent for a few seconds, and so they try to explain how the law works to me. But since I just keep looking at them in silence, not believing myself, they just proceed to leave. I'm so fucking pissed. I'm in California, so I can't even record her confessing to what she's done. If I could do that under an exception, I could easily do it because apparently she has no problem admitting to it when the cops aren't here. Wait, why can't she record the confession? I always thought California laws were super chill. I would literally like put my phone down saying I was recording content and then get her to talk about it and confess, you know? California law says you can't record without consent? Oh, damn, a lot of YouTubers be breaking the law then. But isn't it like as long as you are in frame, you don't need that person's consent? California's all party consent. How the fuck are these YouTubers getting away with it, bro? Hold on. In California, you can generally record video of people in public spaces without their consent because they don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy. However, you must not record their confidential conversations without everyone's consent, as this is illegal under California's two-party consent law. You also cannot capture people on private property or in locations like bathrooms. Damn, that's fucking crazy. So you're telling me if someone's pulling some fuck shit on you in California, you can't even record? That's insane. If I can do that under an exception, I could easily do it because apparently she has no problem admitting to it when the cops aren't here. I'm not, however, going to do so if it will lead to more problems. I've also thought about calling 911 or the non-emergency line and telling the operator about the situation so that the call would be recorded and then make my friend confess about it. Can I do that? Me and the operator are aware of the call being recorded. I think it would still be unlawful. How do I get this bitch out without having to serve her an eviction notice? Isn't that against the law what she did there? Isn't this fraud? I've thought about trying to prove that she's been living somewhere else before, but I don't know what to do. This is fucked up. I'm really sorry about my language, but I'm really feeling so angry and I'm trying to be calm as much as I can while she's in my fucking house using my stuff and I can't do shit about it. That's fucking crazy. I don't even know, bro. Cause like she doesn't actually legally live there. So like I feel like there has to be like mail that you're getting, right? And unless she's made that play, I say start burning her shit. Like, bro, try this shit on me. I go to jail before I let this person freeload like this, bro. OP can stop paying bills so water and electric gets shut off, but that affects OP. If OP stops paying bills so water and electric can get shut off, then OP's credit score goes down. Then OP has to deal with it. I don't know, y'all. This is fucking crazy. I mean, maybe OP could get all the locks changed. Like, that's what I would do. I would try to befriend her, figure out a time that she's gonna be out of the place, and then really quick have someone come over to change the locks, and then dump all of her stuff on the front lawn. Play the game back. Just be like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You haven't lived here ever. And then I would just be like, where's your mail? Does it say on your license that you live here? Is your name on the lease? No? Get the fuck out. Can't change locks legally? Dude, she can legally suck my nuts. What do you mean you can't change the locks legally? If I'm a landlord, I would much prefer my tenant change the locks and get some freeloading bitch out of my place versus letting her live there and then making it my problem. Me personally, I'd invite the squatter out to lunch and have friends go in, clear out her shit, and change the locks anyways. That's what I'm saying, bro. If the law's not gonna help you, don't get me wrong, take that as far as you can. But if the law's not gonna help you, you gotta play the game. You gotta fucking befriend her, make her think you're all chill about her living there, and then fucking bamboozle the shit out of her. That's what I would do. Y'all want to be like, oh no, you're not supposed to play dirty. Bro, if they're dirtying you, you dirty them back. Couple of relevant comments. Let's see what the actual lawyers are saying. Oh, it's the Pat Man again, the guy that's notoriously known for giving bad advice. Okay, he's confirming that it would be unlawful to record the call via an operator, which actually sounds fucking crazy to me, by the way. But apparently the person being recorded doesn't consent. And then this person also said if the police won't take action, eviction is all you have. OP replied to that saying, even if I found a way to prove she wasn't living here, so what now? I can go to any of my friend's house and put my stuff there and basically live for free? If I eventually get proof she faked this, what can I do at that point? Same Redditor replied, it's difficult to prove a negative, especially given that she didn't have another place to stay. Still, if you believe you have that evidence, you can try the police again. But if the police don't do anything, eviction is your only option. I mean, shit, bro. A little bit of throwing hands is also an option. Just what I'm saying, bro. Bring out the phone book, bro. Let's see how she proves that, all right? Prove the negative on that one. OP replied to that saying, so basically anyone can go break in anywhere at a friend's house and this would work. This is ridiculous. Same commenter replies, tenants are given broad protection against being kicked out. This is a good thing. In your case, you have a situation where someone isn't a tenant, but looks exactly like a tenant. That sucks, but it's an edge case, a one-off. It just doesn't happen that often. So yeah, in the extremely rare circumstances that someone breaks into your home with no damage and scatters enough stuff around to look like a tenant, you get a little boned. It sucks, but the worst thing you can do is compound it by trying to kick her out without the eviction. I'm still so confused about, like, let's say you do kick her out without the eviction. How are they going to prove it? Here's how it goes in my head. You find a way to kick them out. You throw all their stuff out. You change the locks, make sure they can't get in. They call the police and they're like, ring, ring, hello, police. They kicked me out unlawfully. Let me back in, please. And then the police show up and they're just gonna be like, oh yes, this random person whose name isn't on the lease or whose whose stuff isn't here, we're just gonna trust them over somebody whose name is on the lease for the house. Like, do you know how stupid that is? Does that mean that I could walk up to a house right now, put some of my stuff on their lawn, call the police, and be like, hey, these people just kicked me out of my house. Here's the proof. I'm out on the front porch with all my stuff. You're telling me that in that scenario, the cops are gonna believe me? Is that for fucking so real? Like, that's where I'm like, dude, I think you risk it. You bamboozle her to leave. You throw all of her stuff out. Honestly, bro, don't even give her stuff. Take it out back, put it in the bonfire, change the locks, and then see what she has to say. What is she gonna do? Oh, that's my house. You go. I've never fucking seen you ever in my life. Why did she just stand there when the cops were there? That's also what I'm wondering, bro. Like, I think she handled the whole cop situation poorly. Also, lie and say that their shit is yours. Exactly, Genesis. It's all he said, she said. I feel like if OP had played their cards right and just lied, they could have been like, bro, their name isn't on the lease. This person broke into my house. Shit, bro, bust a window in the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't have a key to the house. That's a huge thing. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there was so much evidence. Like, not only did the cops do a bad job, but I feel like OP just wasn't thinking of like, hey, how do I prove that this isn't a tenant? Okay, so the top comment on this post is, I am going to go in a completely different direction and suggest you get a protection order. This woman is dangerous and completely out of touch with reality. If I were you, I would be very, very scared. Go down to the court and fill out an order for temporary protection. The form will ask you if you two live in the same home. Say no. Put in her last known address. You should get her order to stay away from you, and she will not be able to enter the apartment, as it will be breaking the order. If you need to call the police, you can call and tell them you have an order of protection against this person and they will make her leave. You do not want a residence exclusion order, which requires actual violence. You want a stay away order. Guys, protection orders are different from restraining orders, right? Is a protection order easier to get than a restraining order, chat? I actually genuinely don't know. That's so much better than anything I had to say. Listen, I was resorting to like evil shit. I will admit that. I would pull some evil shit and go to jail before I let something like this happen to me on my watch. But that being said, sometimes commenters on Reddit have not so evil brains that are smarter than mine. Is it difficult to get an order of protection? I'm gonna look it up. Y'all are giving me mixed answers in chat. Protection and restraining orders can be interchangeable. It depends on the state. That comment's only 100 IQ if it's actually easy to get a protection order. I don't think it is though. Update 1 is on December 9th, 2016, the next day. I texted one of her friends on Instagram who I know is close to her and explained what happened. She gave me her boyfriend's name on Facebook and told me to talk to him to see if he could come over and persuade her to leave. I've reached out to him and we got on the phone a few minutes ago. He said he can come over after work and see what he can do. I mean, bro, like get this boyfriend to be like, hey, shawty, you want to stay the night at my place? And then while she's doing that, just like toss her shit out or honestly go donate it to Goodwill. That's what I would do. If I had an overnight shift, bro, change the locks, donate her shit to Goodwill. There's nothing she can do about that. Actually, that's a paper trail. I say burn it. Burn it's probably the safer one. Like, what is she gonna do? Claim that that's her place of residence? Nah. Is there anything I should do before he comes here? Do I start recording video? Do I call the cops instead? Do I bring in a third witness? I'm really afraid if this ever turns into a domestic violence sort of situation, if any of them decides to do anything stupid. Keep in mind, I'm 19 and both of them are well over my age by a lot. Yeah, I mean, high key, if he's stupid enough to date this woman, I think it wouldn't hurt to have a safe person there who could help protect you as well. I still think OP should play dirty. Like, if the cops ain't gonna cop, you can't blame me for playing dirty, bro. It's fuck around and find out time. Okay, so this commenter said, it's time to call in a friend, a close one. I would propose your mom, actually. Middle-aged women often have a magical violence desalting effect of unknown quantities. The point is someone calm, very calm. You don't need another voice here, you need a witness. If all goes well, I would suggest you lock the door behind her and this time lock your window. The problem with that, of course, is the cops have already decided she lives there. So if she calls them claiming you lock her out, you're shit out of luck. In these circumstances, it might be worth the risk. Would the cops document anything like that? There are cops who literally forget to document shit during murder cases. You think these cops did the right thing and wrote down, hey, this dumb, crazy bitch actually lives here. Here's physical documentation of it. I mean, that's crazy, bro. I would risk it. Can you begin accumulating evidence she did not live there as of yesterday? Call friends and family who can verify you lived alone or who can say where she lived. Instagrams of her taking pics of her place. Facebook posts where she indicates where she lives or implied is not with you. Like, get a can I come over from a few days ago would be great. Once you're done with her, don't ever talk to her again. That's it. This is a new level of crazy and it's going to burn everything it touches. Yeah, honestly, this is like a big one to me. Like, how was this a friend when you knew she was fucking crazy? Called me last night asking for a place to stay. Okay, so there's no physical evidence of that. OOP replied to all that saying, I didn't tell my mom about any of this yet because she worries a lot about me and she already has a lot of issues going on. So I didn't want to put any more pressure on her. I think I have to call her now though. I know for sure she'll have my back on this. Yeah, I think it's time to bring the parents in. When I looked up her Instagram account, I found lots of pictures in Arizona that she was dumb enough to have them tagged with location. The pictures were taken within the past month. I took screenshots as well as archiving them like a web version. I also wrote down a transcript of how the conversation went down and when she called me asking to stay at my place and I refused. I screenshotted the conversation with her friend as well. I mean, that's decent evidence. I don't know if that's good enough evidence necessarily. Someone asked, why didn't you follow the advice in the previous post and pursue a restraining order? OOP, I should have done this, but I didn't. Someone mentioned that I should try and contact one of her friends or family and let them try and talk to her. And so that's what I did. I'm hoping it works. If not, I'll go file the restraining order. I mean, I think you should just file the restraining order anyways. Even if this all plays out to your favor, a restraining order on this bitch wouldn't be that bad. Also, when you file a restraining order, doesn't that person get told about that restraining and or protective order? So realistically, I don't know if it would be like that effective. This is the final update, December 10th, 2016, one day after the first update. As soon as her boyfriend came in, she started crying hysterically. I told them that I'm video recording them through my phone, but they seemed uninterested in what I said. She started blaming him for all sorts of stuff. He kept apologizing a lot, and after what seemed like an eternity, she packed her stuff and they were both gone. Now I've written down on a piece of paper all your different advice. I'll file a restraining order against her. I'll also go file a police report and talk to the sheriff explaining everything that happened. You should also tell him that his fucking cop friends are dumbasses. Like, I truly think, y'all, they made the biggest fucky wucky taking her at her word for like clothes and a toothbrush. I don't think legally that means that person was living there. I think there has to be mail and or a name on the lease. That's what they should have asked for. Of course, our cops are too fucking dumb to put that together though. I've documented all I could. I have screenshots of her IG account with the pictures tagged to Arizona, plus the video of her and her boyfriend arguing in my house and then packing and leaving together. My mom's main concern right now is getting the protective order ASAP and installing an alarm system in my house. She said she'll be staying with me until we can get a company to install an alarm system on Monday. Thank you guys for suggesting to call my mom. It made me feel safer while she was here. Apology, I know how annoying it was for you guys to keep giving me advice that I should file a restraining order and go to the police, only to find me not do any of them, but invite a stranger to my house. Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, that was pretty dumb. My mom also pointed out how badly this could have gone with her boyfriend coming here. Don't get me wrong, she didn't handle the situation right. The takeaway for me, y'all, is I don't give a fuck where you live, by the way. Y'all should be locking everything before you leave. When I went to school in Ames, Iowa, there were people who would leave their doors unlocked, windows unlocked, car keys in their fucking car. I'm not even exaggerating, y'all. Some guy in my fraternity would let me borrow his car and he would literally leave the keys in his car. That's how safe they considered Ames, Iowa. I don't care how safe your town is considered. Lock your shit. It takes 0.5 seconds to make sure that you don't have fuck shit like this happens to you. I can't believe it. That's my takeaway is, girl, lock your damn windows. There's one comment included at the end here that just says, I've been thinking about this since I read it. Honestly, I hope it's fake. If the cops showed up and this lunatic told them she was a tenant, why would OP not say something like, fine, prove to them you live here. Where's your lease? Where are your keys? Where do you sleep? Show them your license with this address. Show them a piece of your mail addressed here. OP replied to that saying, I wish you were there with me, man, and pointed those things out. It just took me off guard. I just stood there saying nothing. Anyway, I'm so lucky it didn't go worse. I'm just really relieved this whole thing is off my chest now. I'm truly thankful for each one of you. For real, bro. But also, y'all, I know we're blaming OP, but can't we just take a fucking second to blame these cops? Like, why are we relying on the pretty much 19-year-old child to know exactly how this is supposed to go? Like, why aren't the cops putting this together? Hey, dog, if she's showing you a toothbrush or some clothes, that's shit that I bring to my friends when I stay there for a long period of time. That does not mean that they're a tenant. These cops need to know, hey dog, if you're claiming residency here, where the mail at? Where are you sleeping? Where's your keys? Where's your name on the lease? I feel like that is a bare minimum one, by the way. If your name isn't on the lease, squatters' rights is stupid. Absolutely brain dead. Do I think OP could have stepped up to the plate better? Absolutely. But like, I blame the cops. I blame the fucking peaked in high school cops that they're hiring in this country to get paid to have a gun when they don't even even have a college education. That's the problem. Not that OP didn't know how to handle this complicated situation, even though she definitely could have done better. Like, for real, for real. I should walk into some rich person's house and be like, yeah, look at this shampoo. It's mine. I'm obviously a resident. For real. That's like the moral of this story, by the way. Crazy. Yeah, if anyone ever pulled that shit on me, ooh, I'd play so fucking dirty. Am I the a-hole for telling my heavily pregnant friend her fiance was in a documentary posted in r/am I the a-hole on August 3rd, 2025. It's currently 4 a.m. and I feel so guilty right now I can't sleep. Myself and a few girlfriends decided to watch a documentary that's been trending. Not gonna lie, I was expecting a documentary showing a human side of a certain person, but yeah. Anyone who has watched the documentary knows what it is. Oh, is it about Bonnie Blue? Is that what you guys are saying right now? Oh. On to the issue. My friend's fiance was one of the 1,000. Oh yeah, it's definitely Bonnie Blue. Why is she not saying it, by the way? Make it easy for me. I'm stupid, okay? I didn't even know there was a documentary. Someone made a documentary about this shit? That's crazy. On to the issue. My friend's fiance was one of the 1,000. I wasn't the first person to notice. My two other friends were the first. I didn't believe it at first, but with a second watch, it was definitely him. Even though his face was covered, the body shape and especially the tattoos were undeniable. We debated till the early hours of the morning if we should tell her or wait because she's 8 months pregnant. But in my opinion, if someone cheats like that, it's not their first time, and I'd rather lose her friendship for telling her straight away than her finding out I knew and hid it. Because let's be real, when you tell someone news like that, there's a huge chance they'll hate you, not the cheater. I think that's pretty sound thinking. I think you always should tell anyone if someone's cheating. If you have like a close relationship or you were one of the cheaters or whatever, like you should always tell them. Like OP said, even if they blame it on you initially, it's better that they blame it on you and then hopefully come back around rather than hold it in and then figure out that you were hiding it. I also just think morally it's wrong if you hide it even though you knew it. So this morning, Sunday, I asked my friend to meet up to talk. I showed her the evidence, and the minute she looked at the picture, she knew it was him and broke down. I expected her to be angry at me, but she thanked me for being honest, as multiple people have hinted that she should watch the documentary instead of being upfront like I was. I ended up driving her to her mom's house. I'm guessing she has told her fiance because he has been blowing up my phone, calling me an evil little homewrecker who not only ruined his life, but also ruined his relationship. And now he's calling me out on social media. He's blaming me for wanting his unborn daughter to grow up without a dad. My friends are angry with me for telling her straight away and not waiting till she had the baby in case the stress would cause issues for her health. Okay, do I think the friends should get angry at you? No. Do I see a little bit where they're coming from? Yes. Do I agree with them? No. I do kind of understand being like, oh, what is this stress gonna do to the baby? But I also feel like there's just no good time to tell her. But I think immediately is always the answer, no matter what the circumstances are. I don't know. That's just a crazy thing to be mad at OP for. I don't fuck with the friends being angry. I could understand if the friends were like maybe using that as an excuse, but even then I still think they're bad friends. Like it wouldn't have been good to tell her after she had the baby as well. Like she's still gonna be dealing with some stress and shit like that. Like there's just no opportune time. I don't give two shits about her fiance if I'm being honest, but I feel so bad for putting my friend in this situation while heavily pregnant. And I'm worried if something does happen to her, it will be my fault. Like, maybe she would have watched it herself and found out on her own. Are they probably right? Yeah. Do I think that that's a good reason not to tell her? No, I don't think so. I just don't think that's at all OP's fault to be like, hey, I found something out that you should know immediately. Like, if anything, if there's any blame to be put on, if yes, it does affect the pregnancy, it's on the guy who did some fuck shit that you had to expose. It's not OP's fault. This is all her fiance's fault. If your fiance didn't put you in that position, you wouldn't have had to tell her. It's him causing the stress, and anybody who blames you for it is not somebody you want to have around with you. Oh, I see you guys talking about the STD stuff. I know they were super safe about it, but you're probably right. That's probably a better thing to keep in mind, you know? Not that the timeline really matters at all, because I think he cheated, but OP does specify in one of the comments he was part of the 1,000 Bonnie Blue lineup in January. They got engaged engaged on Christmas Day. Insane. Engaged 1 month, cheating on her the next is wild. And my friend would have found out around January she was pregnant. She didn't tell us until she was 3 months pregnant. Jesus, bro. This commenter said, let's be real. What matters is how your friend feels. You told her right away and she was thankful. She took action right away. Does that sound like the kind of person who would want you to keep that a secret from her? OOP, it's early days yet, though she could stay with him. And this could all turn on me. I'm a hairdresser. I've had women come in telling me they're getting divorced, giving very valid reasons why they're doing it. Then maybe 4 weeks later, they'll come in praising their partner. There's always a chance with situations like this, the victim will put their hate on the wrong person. I mean, yeah, but wouldn't you prefer that they put the blame on you rather than living with the guilt and or the possibility that they'll figure out about it? If I were to tell one of my friends that they were getting cheated on and they took it out on me, I would look at them, tell them they're being stupid, and to come back to me when they're ready to apologize. Hey, bro, that sucks and you're putting that on me, but I don't deserve that. This is on your partner. I'm just relaying the message. You are shooting the messenger. I don't really understand why guys are interested in that. If a girl came to me and was like, hey, I'm trying to have sex with a bunch of dudes, not gonna lie, wouldn't be that appealing. Like, I'm trying to have sex with girls who are like, I really want to have sex with you because like you're really cool and there's nobody else that I really want to have sex with, you know? I don't understand why guys are like, oh man, this girl wants to have sex with me and 999 other dudes. Fuck yes. This is worth cheating on my partner for. That's crazy. That's insane. For what? Is Bonnie Blue even hot? I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna keep it off stream because I don't even know what will pop up right now. But like, is she even that hot? Really? She's not bad looking. Would I cheat on my pregnant fiance for her? Absolutely not. She's not bad looking. She's not great. Like, I was expecting fucking, I don't know, Transformers Megan Fox. You know what I'm saying? That was like mid-ass sorority girl. Hitler's fever dream popped up on my fucking screen and I was like, eh. That's also a shitty photo. I don't need a good photo. I feel like you can still tell from a regular photo that she's not, you know, like, listen, if someone cheated on me and it was like for Sabrina Carpenter, I would be like, hey, that's so fucking fair. Like, Sabrina Carpenter is hot. I get it. Or let's do a guy who's like a really hot guy. If someone cheated on me for Ian Somerhalder, I'd be like, fuck you, but I get it. That man is beautiful. Bonnie Blue to me, and maybe other girls will say otherwise, but Bonnie Blue to me is not okay fair. Bonnie Blue to me is, what the fuck were you thinking, dog? Like, I think my girl version is Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I'm a girl, my partner cheats on me with Sabrina Carpenter, fair enough. I'm pissed, but fair enough. Update on the same post, August 4th, 2025, the next day. My friend's fiance wasn't the only one of our partners to do the lineup. My boyfriend of 3 years was one, and so was another friend's husband. 2 hours ago, he posted screenshots from a group chat and photographic receipts no one could deny. Fucking yikes, dude. He said in the message, other men in relationships are involved. I wasn't the only one there. And then he tagged OP. Followed up with a message saying, maybe check your own man before coming for my relationship. And then he tags 5 other women. He sends another message. I'm not taking the blame alone and being seen as the bad guy, while tags the rest of the men did the same. Shit, bro, not only is he a cheater, but he's a snitch. Don't get me wrong, these men should be caught, but like, bro's a snitch too. Like, that's insane. He's gonna lose his fiance and he's gonna lose all of his friends for ratting. There was a lot more said, but I stopped reading and just deleted my social media account and then blocked my now ex. I don't want to hear his explanation. I feel so humiliated and physically sick. I don't know how I'm going to face the coworkers or clients at work tomorrow. I wish I could just disappear. My phone is going crazy, so I'm going to turn it off, go for a long shower, then see if I can get any sleep for what I'm sure will be hell tomorrow. I mean, I just think you're such a weak man if you will let a 45-second nut ruin your relationship. How horny brain do you have to be, bro? That's on some weak shit. I don't want to hear this, oh, I do jujitsu, I fucking lift this much weight. Like, bro, if you're caving to your stupid lizard brain, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You weak as hell. You a whole baby back bitch, bro. Just go jerk off for real, bro. Just fucking whack that shit. It's so easy. It's probably a lot faster. I found out how my roommate treats my cats when I'm not home.
Oh boy.
Posted on June 10th, 2025. We have a 24 female OP and a cousin who I'm assuming is the roommate, 30 male.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I live with my cousin. I have 3 cats, 1 adult cat, and 2 12-week kittens. And whenever I'm home, he will be mean, in quotations, to them in a very joking and lighthearted way. He'll call them names, badass, dumbass, etc., but it's in that bullying as a love language.
Yeah.
I do refer to Beans as my little idiot every once in a while. He just is, bro. Like, I'm sorry, Beans is an idiot, but he's mine and he's so cute.
Yeah, if you say it in a cute way, they won't.
Yeah. But it's in that bullying as a love language type way, and I've never been afraid of him actually mistreating my cats, especially because they clearly adore him. He plays in rough houses with them, he pets them, but he never gets all lovey-dovey the way I do with them. Or so I thought. I live in a 2-story townhouse with my bedroom being on the 2nd floor, and I always keep my door open so that the cats can go in and out. Yesterday morning, I had woken up, but not gotten out of bed yet, and my 2 kittens were playing on the landing just outside my bedroom door. I hear my cousin start to walk up the stairs, and I stayed as quiet as possible. I knew he thought I wasn't home because when I am home, he always calls up to me to ask if he can come up. In parentheses, I've given him permission to go in my room when I'm not home to play with my cats. My door was cracked open about a foot, and I see his arm reach. He says, "Scoop," and grabs a kitten. Then I hear about a minute straight of kissy sounds and baby talk. I'm just quietly watching from my bed. That's honestly, like, if you can't, girl or guy, if you can't grab an animal and change the tone of your voice and how you speak to it, giving them as many kisses as possible, like, that's a red flag to me.
Psychopath.
People, unless they're deathly allergic to animals, people who don't like dogs and cats are a red flag.
It says a lot about you. For sure.
It does for sure.
I'm just quietly watching from my bed, trying not to let out a giggle when he suddenly stops, slow turns, and makes stunned eye contact with me through the crack in the door. When he realized I saw/heard the whole thing, he got embarrassed and said, "Oh, I saw them running around up here and thought I'd come play with them." I laughed and said it was totally fine, but he retreated back downstairs to put his tough guy persona back on. The photo above is one he just sent me having a cuddle session with baby George.
Oh, we got cat tags.
Oh, we got cat pics. Hold on.
My gosh.
Hold on. Wait for it. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh,
I love it. All right, and then I guess we got an update here. Hopefully it's a good update. I'm like, why would you need to update this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have looked at the subreddit. r/ made me smile. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting the worst with this one.
I was too. That was such a pleasant surprise.
Like, are we gonna have to fight this man? Like,
right.
Update, August 23rd, 2025, 2.5 months later. A while back, I made a post about how I caught my roommate baby talking to my cats. I have a new adorable development. A couple months ago, I went on a family vacation, so my roommate took care of my cats while I was gone. During that week, he accidentally started a new routine with them. Each time he'd fill their food bowls, he'd stand there and give them pets and scratches while they ate. After a couple days, they decided that this is now a requirement. Only with him, though.
Oh my gosh.
They don't make me do this. Now every day when he gets home, they run to the door to excitedly greet him and then run to their food bowls. They'll sit there and yell at him until he goes over to give them pets while they eat. I love cats, bro.
So cute.
They get, I think Beans is conditioned now. When I go live and I start talking on my screen, he knows to hang out in the background because at some point I'll look back at him and he'll activate and he's like, "It's time for treats." He is so food motivated. Like, they're like, "Oh, I get food?" Like, yes. The funniest part of it is that they free feed. I just keep their bowls full so they can eat whenever they are hungry. I know some people frown upon that, but my work schedule is too unpredictable to keep them on a consistent feeding schedule. And none of them are overweight, so it works for us. Even though they have constant access to food, they'll wait for him to get home from work to have dinner so that he can give them scratches. So sweet. That's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
They're like, we must be treated like royalty.
Right.
Like it's like the servants fanning them and eating them grapes. It's like, yes, I will eat my food, but only if you give me scratches.
Well, that's why the Egyptians, worship the cats.
Yeah, they had to keep them quiet. Yeah.
Or they keep purring and meowing at you.
Yeah. Honestly, he's worthy of worship for sure.
Oh,
for sure. I love my baby boy.